What's up, beautiful people? It is Friday night, and I normally go live on Friday nights. This is usually my longer live, but we'll see how long it is going to be today. I am also live on Instagram for the first time. So if you are new to Instagram, thanks for being here. But I am live right now on YouTube, which we would redirect you guys to YouTube soon. So yes, this is new for me. I haven't done it like that before, but I'm trying something different. But as you can see, the title to this video says "Women Control the Society." If you agree, if you don't agree, we're gonna have the conversation today. I had a poll on my Instagram and on my Facebook asking what people thought. So majority of you guys said that women control the society. So we're going to get into why I actually say that and what my response is. And yes, I am a woman, so I'm going to get into it. Thanks for everyone who's on Instagram right now. Like I said, this is my first live on Instagram. I'm trying to do better on that. But anyway, so if you agree that women are control the society, if you agree that women control the society, if you are on the chat, please put a 1 if you agree that we as women control that. If you don't agree, put a 2. Okay, so I have a special guest today, and my guest says 2. He doesn't believe that women control the society. All right. So yes, I have a special guest today, and we're gonna get into the topic of that I have today. So, You know how they say women run the world? Who run the world, girls? You know, Beyonce been saying that for a little minute, and you know, women believe that we run the world. So, but then a lot of women believe that we run the world, but then blaming the man at the same time for a lot of different things. Okay? Why is that? Why is that? We run the world to make it a bad place, cuz right now this world is not popping at all. It's not. It's not popping at all. So to claim that you run the world and I don't see nothing to show for it, what do you mean by that? You know what I'm saying? What do you mean by that? So single mother by choice, that's an actual thing. There's women out here being a single mother by choice. Isn't that destroying the world? You think being a single mother is cool and you're voluntarily actually doing that? Like that's the thing? Is that running the world? Is that controlling the society? Thanks for putting yes. Okay, so Hustler and Muscular, what's up? Thanks for being here. I appreciate that. What was the question again? Okay, you got the question now because you put a 1. Do women control the society? So I got a lot of 1s right now. People saying yes. What up, Ali? Shout out to Lady Di and the Dating to Marriage Network. Thank you. Okay, Ali, I guess you agree women control the society. All right. On Instagram, we got looking for a relationship coach for me and my girlfriend. Yes, you're in the right place. That's exactly what I do. Thanks for putting the 1. You believe that women control the world. Sorry, run the society. Yes. All right. I got another comment. Off the beaten path. Hey, girl, what's up? No, I think the society is controlled by men. The top of the top are men. Yes, that is true. Ali says we do everything for women. See, we got difference of opinions already. We do everything for women. So are women controlling the society? Everything is wrapped around our fingers, ladies. Like I said, single mother by choice. And I'm talking about on a negative aspect. That's not positive. You're forcing a man to be not with you, right? Which makes you a single mother. How is that a good thing? And then you blame the men that the world is in a bad space. How is that? You shouldn't be choosing to be a single mother. That should be something that dramatic happened, right? Usually someone passes away. You're forced. You're a widow. Not, oh, let me volunteer that type of situation. No. When it comes to deleting the seed, abortion, all right, I'm going to call it deleting the seed. When it comes to that, women who delete the seed, right? That's enough. And then men don't have choices on the decision that we as women can make with deleting the seed, right? So again, what is that doing? Forcing the man not to be in the child's life automatically. It's just in a dramatic sense. Just like single mother by choice, it's the same thing. You're taking the man out of the equation. But then you blame the man that the world is in a bad space. That is making the world bad because we're raising human beings without 2 parents by choice, right? How is that good, you guys? Okay. Thanks, Monette, for being here on Instagram. Monette says power to control society. But a lot of women are unaware of the power we actually have. Thank you. In a positive way. We can control it in a positive way, you guys. It doesn't have to be so negative. Forcing the man out of the household is negative. And then you wonder why the society is to the ground. I'm going to invite my special guest in just a second. Off the beaten path says, I think in America, it looks like feminists are in control, but not the rest of the world. Yes, feminist is a strong movement, you guys. And that's one of the things, being a feminist, feminism. Some of their principles are taking the man out of the equation, right? Women controlling the society, making all these different movements that doesn't include a man. But I thought we needed two to make things work. Opposite sex, how you doing stuff by yourself? And you expect things to work out? That's not how it works. It's not natural. Hustler and Musler says men may have built the world, but it's the women who are making the rules for the world. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Off the Beaten Path says we went to Ukraine and the dynamic is very different. Men are dominant there. Yeah, I could believe that. All right, so. Hey, Gail. What's up, girl? Thanks for being here. All right, so now I have a special guest who is a single man. He doesn't have any children, matter of fact, which is rare. A single man with no children. He's also divorced too. He's been married once. Okay, so we're gonna see what he thinks about this because he is one of the issues out here today. He has no woman. Why? Because women don't want a man, right? Is that what it is? Women don't want the good guys. How many times you guys heard me talk about women don't want a good guy? I make videos about this all the time, which I'm going to react to my own video today. I'm going to play it. This man is single. And he's older, okay? He's not young where he got time. He has no children, you guys. Okay, how does this make sense? That's not good. He can at least have one. He has none. Women control the society. Yes, they do. That's my answer. I put the one in the chat for yes. All right. So I'm going to add him to the stream right now. Hey, what's up?
Hey, how's it going? Thanks for having me.
Yes. So you guys on Instagram, I'm going to eventually end this so you guys could actually join me on YouTube, which I could put the link right here. Let's see. I'm going to stay on for a minute. I'm not going to just dismiss you guys just yet. Let's see. I don't even know if you guys could click on that. But if you cannot click on that, go on my profile page and just click on the link. YouTube is right there. I'm live currently. All right. I have a comment says, they do, but they give us so many requirements. Exactly. All right. So before we get started, I'm actually going to play a clip. All right. I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to play a clip on Instagram. Okay. Here we go. Let me get to it. 1 second, you guys. All right. I'm going to play this clip and it's going to kind of address the issues. What up, Sherm? It's going to address the issues. So let me get to it.
A group of white girls who are sitting at their graduation engaged. And the question came up, well, why is there not the reality of black women? I know y'all not gonna like what I gotta say, but you know me, I'm gonna say it anyways. First and foremost, black women are above reproach. If it don't validate us or excuse our bad behavior, we don't want to hear. Instead, we'll say, well, men do it too. Secondly, we'll find every excuse in the world to validate why we don't want to be married or why we don't want to be in a relationship. Well, they get cheated on. Well, they do this. Well, they do that. But then we have all these standards for men, and we're still actively seeking for men in the midst of our hurt while inadvertently telling them to go to therapy. We do not practice what we preach. Thirdly, the independent woman is a myth. Actually cared about being independent and it was something that made you happy, you would not have all these standards to negate your independence. Nobody wants to relinquish power. find every excuse in the world to not be submissive and wonder why white women can get away with their bad behavior. We take everything bad from white women, except for the fact using marriage to our own benefit. But you'll run to the child support office though. Get equality against men, and the only time we actually want to be equal to men is when it comes to degenerate behavior, hypersexuality, abusing or abandoning children. Even when it comes to the gold digger conversation, what you don't see those other women do, even when they are just screwing men for money, is bashing men, inadvertently making men feel like they're not important. Also, too, telling them that they don't need men. Psychologically, we have been taught to disassociate ourselves. And even in that Malcolm X quote, where he says the black woman is the most disrespected, he also says to be near your man. Because who taught you to hate the very race that you're supposed to be with?
All right. So, my guess, yes.
Can you? White girls who are
can you? One second.
Engaged.
Let me delete
and the
that.
question came.
Okay. Can you please introduce yourself to the audience? And Charlie, right? You could introduce yourself. I know I already introduced you, but if you can introduce yourself to
Yeah,
get more sense of it.
Definitely. First off, thanks for having me again. I really appreciate it. My name is Cedric. Charlie Romeo is just my old military name, so I kind of like it's like a phonetic alphabet type deal. So it's my IG, so I just keep it simple. Charlie Romeo, 2 underscores. Boom, boom.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
All right. So, what's up, Sherm? Talk that talk, Lady Di. Thank you. We're agreeing with that lady that was just in the video. Fact, sister, I love the way women are stepping up. Yes. Okay, so now I explained to the audience that you are single. Now, how long have you been single?
Ooh, years.
Years? Oh, wow.
Yeah. I mean, some of it, looking back at it, probably some of it's probably by choice. When I got divorced, like a lot of men and women, I think that, you want to be free, you get a little wild, and then you kind of go back to, you know what, this is kind of old, it's played out, so it's like you get to a point where you want to invest in just one person, one person who knows if you're having a difficult day at work and when you come home, what you need, what you like, what you want, versus like a brand new girl, she's like trying to figure it out every single time again. And it's just like, it gets to a point where it's like, you just want somebody who really understands and knows you intimately. So I think that's where I was initially, but now I'm at the spot where I'm like, okay, I think I deserve a second chance, at least two.
I got you. So now, being single by choice, you've dated, right, in between that time frame?
Of course, yeah.
Okay. So the women that you were choosing to date, were they good or bad?
I mean, it depends on what my motive was. If it was just, having fun, then it didn't matter. If it was like somebody purposeful, then that's a different conversation. I've always tried to, I think, date purposeful. But at the same time, as I tell all people, I'm still a human. I'm still a man. I have my own needs, and it's like I'm not embarrassed about that. Like,
Yeah.
I love sex. Everybody loves sex. I mean, that's how we got here. So,
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but when I do date with purpose, especially right now. And I think overall, I've always wanted to have a woman. Just if it doesn't work out, then it's you get that feeling of, well, we can still have fun. But so I'm just being honest. So
That's that bachelor lifestyle.
yeah. So it is what it is.
Yeah. Now the women who were, I guess, a great option for marriage, why didn't it work out? Just explain at least one of them. What was the reason? Was it she didn't want to be with you, or you were like, you're not that great?
I think it depends on the level of a person in terms of what they have going on with their own life. Me with different people, if it hasn't worked out, it might be, it could be sex. That's important. It can be lifestyle, i.e., I have no children. She has 2 kids. I have no children. She has 1 kid. Sketchy baby daddy. You know what I'm saying? All that shit I'm not dealing with. Or it could be a situation to where distance is a factor. So it always just depends. Like everything depends on something else. But I've had all those different things happen at different times.
Mm. Okay.
Yeah.
So now it is 2023. Are you
Hey.
planning to date this
Huh?
year? Are you planning to date this year to find a wife?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, yeah, my purpose haven't changed. It's still the same.
Now, do you see anybody good out there that's wanting to be married, or it's like they dismissive?
I see some people who have the potential. But I think you're only good at what you do consistently. Nobody's great based off of one thing. Michael Jordan, won 6 championships. He's not great because he won one. He's great because he won six. So consistency is the definition of greatness to me. It's like what you continue to do over and over and over again that defines you, not like one time. Because we can all get lucky one time. So
Okay.
yeah.
I have a question for you in the chat. Yes, you guys, hear it from the men, ladies.
Facts.
They'll tell you. Sherm, he says, what's the level of emotional intelligence of these women compared to yours?
I don't know. I think that, I tend to think I'm a very highly intelligent person. I think most people do in their own, you know what I'm saying? Like in their own right. But I know there's a lot I need to learn. But most women I deal with, if I deal with a woman, then she's going to be intelligent. She doesn't have the education to go with it because I think those are two separate things. But she needs to have common sense, be smart, be a survivor, but not survivor, but be somebody who can actually go out there and just get it. You know what I'm saying? Without having a piece of paper. But
Right.
I like smart women, and actually I like strong women, but I just don't like these, boss bees and queens and all the other stuff. But I like a strong woman.
Like a
Smart.
strong.
Yeah, I do.
Define strong though, because women say I'm strong and independent. So what kind of strong you talking about?
Well, I like a woman who is already doing it without me. I think that's a strong person in general. It doesn't have to be a person who's running a company or something. So when I say strong woman, I mean a woman that has her job or career. She has her own place, own car, own money. Like I don't really ask for much. I just want a person that has their stuff together. To me, that's strong.
Okay. So being financially stable.
Well, financially stable is a matter of opinion. Like what dollar amount do you put on financial stability? You see what I'm saying?
Uh-huh. Well, for
Like
me, it's just taking care of your house. Like you pay your bills. You're
yeah,
not.
yeah. Well, yeah. Most Americans live check to check. So if you're living check to check or you're a check away from it, then you're not financially stable. I just look at it as somebody who can go out there and do regular things on occasion without checking their wallet for, I got the light bill due next week and all this stuff. Like that's not stable. But stable is just like, living a regular life and just being free from worry about that. Those type of things. I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me get into some more comments. Jordan, hi, how are you, Jordan? Thanks for being here. She says, I like the part about consistency. So yeah, when you're dating, if a person is not consistent, leave them alone. Do not entertain someone that can't be consistent with meeting you at a place or texting you or calling you, keeping up with you. That's a sign that they're not going to be consistent with you long term. Just don't think, oh, a lot of people like to give others excuses, and that's not one. You don't give that as an excuse. Inconsistency is normally like children. They don't know better. They just still learning. So if an adult is still doing that, leave them.
Yeah.
Uh, Fat Boy for Life. Hello. Thanks for being here. Thank you. He says it depends on what you want and what you are willing to deal with. Also, so his status calls depending on his social economic status. It will be difficult.
Yeah.
Okay. Sherm says emotional intelligence, not just intelligence.
Facts.
Okay. All right. Off the beaten path says That's why women strive to be independent because men desire that. I think, hmm. So men desire to be independent, desire women to be independent. Do you, I mean, you said you wanted somebody that's financially stable because that's what independence. They could take care of themselves. They don't need nobody. Some of them say they don't need nobody.
Yeah, because so I'll take my experience. I am financially stable, although I'm still growing and still trying to go out there and get it. Because if I don't think that, you know, it just depends on how you see it. I feel like you can be at a certain place and something can happen tomorrow and can be snatched away. So my financial status is based off of the blueprint I follow. I might fall off tomorrow, but I can still get back on it because my blueprint doesn't change. My blueprint is God and hard work. I don't need
Mhm.
anybody else. I don't need anybody. There's nothing no man, no woman can do for me that God can do better. So I keep that mentality. I work hard and I always work out. So I think for a lot of people, it's just their own blueprint. I have mine. I know what I like, what I desire, and it just works out that way. So,
Okay. Um, Now I don't know. I don't know if men are thinking about how independent a woman is. If they're taking care of the house, I think they're mostly looking at can she be a wife? Unless there are some people who want a woman to help with the bills, then obviously you will look for someone that can help with the bills. But
yeah,
are you looking for someone that could contribute? I should say it doesn't have to be fully, but contribute some dollars to whatever you guys got going on.
me.
Yeah, you.
Oh yeah, you gonna work.
You're going.
Sorry, sorry to bust you, but you gonna work. Well, because it's like, so here's the thing. In life, you have to have insight. If I make enough money to take care of the both of us, that doesn't mean that something won't change tomorrow. Whether it be something, from a perspective of bad health or a company lays me off or whatever it is, it's like I need you to still know how to go out there and do it.
True.
And if we are doing good based off of my income, okay, then secure your bag as well. And then we can travel more. We can invest in our children's college fund with no kids. Potentially we can give back to people. But if I'm working and you're at home just doing nothing, it's like I can just find a random chick for that. Like I don't need a wife for that. I can find a girl tomorrow. She can hang out. We can kick it. We can have drinks. We can watch TV and do our thing. And you go home. I'm doing fine on my own already. So either you're an asset or you're a liability. But you're gonna work. Now, as a man, um, I make it like, for example, I'm paying my own, rent because I rent right now. I just got here. So I'm
Mhm,
paying my own rent, my own car payment, light, cable, internet, whatever. So if
mhm.
you came here tomorrow, yeah, you could stay here for free if I wanted you to, because I'm already here. But it's like I need to know that you're also investing in me. Now, I do think as a man, the mortgage, the biggest bill you have, should be on him. Period. But all
Okay.
the other little small stuff, the groceries, the light, utility, the cable, internet, that's you. It's probably about 70/30.
Okay.
70/30. My hell, I got the bill right now. Yeah, bill there, right there. Yeah. I got a bill right now for a light bill that was due yesterday for $58.
Okay.
Got that. I think you're okay. I have Netflix, somebody else's Netflix. I don't know who it is. I have HBO Max. Like regular, these are like minuscule bills. The
Mhm.
biggest bill is the mortgage. So if I got that, then you take everything else, and you'll be fine, and we'll be fine. You know, because if I'm already doing fine on my own without you, if you come to my table, then you will be an asset. There's no liabilities here. Period.
Mm.
I can be single for that, and
Mm.
and there's plenty of women around to go around. I'm good. So you come to my table and you bring something or you leave. I mean, it's not that hard to figure out. It doesn't even have to be, financial. if you're a good cook, because I'm from Georgia, so I like to eat. So if you're a good cook, then cook a couple times a week. Pay a light bill, cable bill, and we're still good. But do something. Don't just sit there and look pretty. There's plenty of pretty girls out there. Respectfully, you guys aren't that special. I'm just being honest. You're not. There's so many women out there who's looking for a guy with his shit together. It's not hard to find. So be an asset, not a liability.
Mm.
Yeah.
I like that perspective. Be an asset, not a liability. I'm gonna shout out sophisticated jerk, sir. Where you at? Because he is living the life similar, I guess, to what you're doing. This man, he's been married, I think, like 20 years, and he lives that 50-50 quote unquote lifestyle where his wife works. If you are here, come and shed light to the point that he just made. Don't be an asset, be a lot. I mean, what is it? Say it again.
Me?
Oh, yeah, say that one point.
Oh, just don't be a liability, be an asset. Because at the end of the day, again, it's like right now, if I'm doing well, all of my bills are paid and they are paid. I have enough. I can go out to Maestro's tonight and tomorrow and next week and not still count my bills. But that's me. That's my lifestyle. So if you come to it, if you can't add to it, then don't at least take away from it. Because I'm not going down, I'm going up. Always. I never, ever, ever, I'm always going up. I always tell my friends, I'm like, hey man, I don't know what's going on, but God got me. I work hard, I pray hard. I'm always going up. My lifestyle has not changed. It's always going up, 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 up. So if you can't really, like, I don't mind, doing the whole bill thing, going, as a man going 70-30. I'm cool with that. You know what I'm saying? But you're not taking away from what I got going on already. I can be single for that and go downtown Phoenix, downtown Scottsdale, and do my thing without all that responsibility. So you come to my table, be an asset. It's just simple.
Yeah. And I think that's what off the beaten path was saying. So I'm glad you were able to explain it to her point. Now she says, because men desire that, I think if more men valued, let's say housewives, more women will desire to stay home and care for the family.
Well, respectfully speaking, you can't be a housewife without having children. To me. So if you don't have kids, you're just sitting at home cooking my dinner. First of all, I can cook myself. My house is clean. It's always clean. It's very, very clean. If that's your only, like, not dissing her, but if that's your selling point, I can be single for that. I don't need a person to come in here and cook and clean. I do it myself every day of the week. So you have to still have more to add to me than good sex and cooking and cleaning. I mean, I can go cook now. I can call, freaking Uber Eats, go get this, get that. Like, I can already do it. So what else do you bring to my table besides sex and maybe cooking a little bit? Now, granted, respectfully speaking, I'm from Georgia, so I do like to eat. So if you can really cook, you already got me already, partially. But there's other things you have to do. Just be willing to be an asset. It's not about the money. If I take you out to Ruth Chris and you take me out to Outback, I see no difference. That's what you're able to do. I love Outback, but I can go to Maestro's too because I'm still humble. So whatever you can do within your wallet, just do it. Just show me that you appreciate me. We can go to Applebee's, get 5 for $25. We good. Shit, let's do it. We good. And then tomorrow you go to Maestro's, but it's the same thing to me. It doesn't matter.
Okay. So there are men like you out there. This lady in particular, she is a housewife with no kids, unless she's pregnant now that I didn't know about. But she is a housewife literally with no children. And she's doing that. Her man desires that type of lifestyle. He wants the house clean. He wants, food because he's a busy working man. I think he works a lot. So he wants that already prepared. So that's their lifestyle. Yeah. Now I have another guest on here that I'm going to add, if you don't mind.
Oh, it's not my show. Do you
I'm
think?
just making sure we're comfortable now. It's a guy.
I'm
Not
always listen. If I'm a military man, I'm always comfortable.
okay, good. All right, so we got Sherm in the building. What up, yo?
My man, salute, brother. How you doing, man?
Hey, how y'all doing?
Bless.
Thanks for calling in. Now, let me get to some of these comments real quick before we continue. What up, cousin? Stability is one thing, but resiliency is more profound. Okay. Sherm, which is on the panel right now, says, I desire a woman that wants to be my better half and wants to make strides together. As long as her level of independence doesn't contradict that, we can be okay. Okay, which you will explain that soon.
Yeah.
Misery, you go ahead. You want to talk? Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, I can explain it. It's basically, it's like everybody. I agree that everybody wants an independent woman, right? But it's levels to it, right? So at a certain time, at a certain point in time and space, if that level of independence is like infringing on what the man sees as, I guess you could say the team concept, then it's not really going to work. I guess it's saying a level of independence with restrictions, pretty much.
Yeah.
But I think it also just comes into being a part of a team, right? So what are you contributing to the team? And are your goals in line with the team goals? Because we can't be a team on this thing, and if we're not moving in the same direction, or if you're stepping on your teammates, stepping on your teammates' toes or whatever, then it's not gonna work. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Now, example to that, I'm just going to bring a basic one. So let's say a man wants to be the full provider. He doesn't want his woman to work at all because he got it, or that's just his thing. But then she has the kids are still really small, and she's like, you know what? I want to go to work. I don't want to stay home and raise any kids. That's changing the program that you guys set your goals on. So for that man, he may say, well, that's not what we wanted. That's not what we talked about, because I want you to raise the kids. But you're saying you want to go out to work, which is not raising the kids. Somebody else is going to do it. They're still small, under 5, under school age. So from what I'm hearing from Sherm and Cedric, that's messing up the program, and it could be a contradiction, meaning you go to work. That means you're not going to take care of the kids. You're not going to take care of the home. Right? So everything's going to be left, and then you're going to expect him to do 50-50 with you. That's how it is sometimes. Go ahead.
I'm gonna say something about that, and definitely no knock or disrespect to the other person that's like watching, or anybody that's watching that has a husband that tells his wife, hey, you know what? I work, I do very well. You stay home, raise the kids, do your thing. To all the women watching, and this isn't about that guy because I don't know him, first of all, but to all the women watching, be very careful with that. You have a lot of narcissistic men who will try to control women by way of keeping them in a box, not having the skill set, not having any type of know about how to maneuver, and then 4 or 5 years they divorce, and she's like, "Oh my God, my life is over with. I haven't worked in years. Who's gonna hire me?" Shit happens all the time. It's a real thing. Be very concerned with that. There are some men out there who's really getting it, that's able to provide for you. I don't give a damn about none of that stuff. You go out there and get you something, like, say you're a nurse. Say you're a nurse, he's a doctor. Okay, he makes, so I work in HR, so I know my numbers. So he makes about 350 a year. Okay, become a nurse, work PRN part-time, get you 15 hours a week, keep your name out there, keep your skill set sharp, keep your skills sharp just in case if something happened. Because first of all, divorce is a real thing. It does happen quite often. Keep yourself to where if something happens tomorrow, or say he cheats and you leave, you still have a skill set to where you're not out here butt naked. It happens all the time. Some men are narcissistic. They'll tell a woman, "Oh, baby, you don't gotta work, just raise the kids." You know what? I'm just telling you, like, for women. So if I had a daughter, I would say, don't do it. I always keep you a skill set to where if the worst case does happen, you can like bounce back, jump in full time, and do your thing. Don't have a man making you think that you're so special. He's gonna always be around because sometimes they aren't. So always keep you a skill set. Don't just work and have no like your resume is sitting there dusty as hell. No, no. Keep you a skill set just in case because unfortunately things do happen in life. Most people don't get married to get divorced, but it happens a lot. I think the marriage divorce ratio was like damn near even. So I hate to tell you, sis, but if you work from home, so I mean, if you works and you're not working, you might be setting yourself up long term to like be in chaos one day if something bad happens.
That's
So
very
just
true.
definitely keep your skill set. I'm just saying. I'm being honest. Keep your skill set.
So I definitely agree with that. Right? I think you should keep a skill set, but my thing is that I think there's a fundamental problem wrong with the way that we look at a traditional relationship. Because a traditional relationship, it basically, in my mind, right? Somebody's leading, somebody's following. But somewhere along the line, we threw in there stay at home. Like, I get it. Like, we want to provide the best care for our kids. We want to make sure they get as much attention as possible. But I believe that I believe in my experience that you can do that while working a full time job. Um,
Facts.
I spent the entire last 365 days as a single dad
Wow.
for my youngest daughter, and it's just me and her in the house. So I know for sure that it can be done. But what I'm saying is that in your partnership, right? Somebody's leading, somebody's following. There doesn't have to be a stay at home part, right? Where somebody's staying at home, somebody's a quote unquote breadwinner. Like, no, like you both can be out there working, right? And providing that best care, right? And when we talk about that partnership or my teammate, me and my teammate can tag team, right? On everything that needs to get done in this house or get done for the house. And that includes the kids, right? Going to their schools, parent teacher conferences, whatever the case may be, like the team can get it done. And it doesn't have to be, one person at home, one person at work. Granted, there are relationships, marriages, situationships where that works for them, right? That's the norm that they've established. That's what they want. That's what they got going on, and that's them. They gonna move like that. But what I'm saying is that when we look at it, we at hey, like somebody's has to stay at right in the traditional sense. I don't think that's the case.
Yeah, so you guys' point makes a lot of sense. So it only works, it's like you said, long term if there's going to be a situation where they don't have any money because the man that's providing loses it all, and now they're looking at each other like, damn, we got to move back to mom's house, right? So for me, I was a stay-at-home mom for 9 years. I'm going to include when we were together in a relationship because I lived with him then. 9 years. I had 3 kids in that. My youngest will be 1 year old next week, right? I literally went to school during that time where I obtained a master's degree, and I am about to start work for the first time. And I'm talking about first time in corporate starting Tuesday. So I'm going to work.
Yeah.
I'm gonna work from home, and I'm gonna be with my kids, depending on how I want it to be set up.
When
But before that, my husband took care of everything. I never paid anything, right? But what he did, which was the things that you guys were talking about, in case something happened, I need this type of security so I won't feel that when if I was to leave this earth, you will be basically looking to see where your next move is. So he invested into real estate, a lot of it. And he said, if anything happened, you got houses to sell or live in, you'll be fine. And whatever money is left when stuff like that happens. So that was his intake on it. And then of course me in school. So I was already going to go to school. I had to up my degree to make more money when I did work. So like Cedric said, my resume won't be looking dusty.
does
So I
it?
agree with everything that you guys are saying. I do believe that teamwork definitely does work. But for the ones who are not looking at it like that, either they're in a great financial space where that woman doesn't have to work, or they're going to set themselves up for failure. So definitely look at your income and just the whole long term retirement, all of that. You have to look at all of it and then make the decision based off that. You don't have to be so traditional where no, my woman can't work, and then when shit hit the fan, shit gonna hit the fan. So be smart about what you're saying, and what these guys are saying. Definitely, I agree with all of that. Now, um, hold on, let me get into just a little bit of the comments, and then you can respond. Bad boy for life says we want women that are self-sufficient, not independent. It's a difference. The
Facts.
independent phrase turns into a mindset that can be detrimental to a relationship. Okay.
True.
Uh,
Facts.
Dark Matter says no one is an island to themselves, is on island to themselves. All right. Hustler and Muscler says men want traditional housewives. The problem is women don't want to take that spot and actually be housewives. Now, I did a live on housewives. So my last live, it says don't divorce. You could look at that. She says, off the beaten path, says, that's better. I've seen women dating and they are working hard to impress men with their money and careers. Then on the opposite side, we hear men say they don't care about your money. Okay, sure. Break that down. Can you please? What does this mean for you?
Hell, I'll break it down. Men don't care about women's money. The last woman I dated was a doctor. She had her own practice and she still got dismissed. I'm not being arrogant. I'm being honest. Like, it didn't matter to me. Now, if I was a doctor with my own practice, I would have to damn near cheat on her 1,000 times for her to leave. So yeah, we don't care, but we still. It's one of those things to where it's like you have to read between the lines. We don't care about your money because we should be self-sufficient. We should be providers and leaders, but we still care because just because I'm doing good on my own with no children, it doesn't mean I'm doing well enough to take care of a family of like 4 people. I'm just doing fine in my situation. So I care about your money and I need your money, to be honest with you, because I want to live well. If I'm living well on my own, then damn it, we're going to live well together. So I need your money. I just don't need you to make what I make. If I'm making 120 and you're making 40, then it's 160 and we borrowing. Let's get it. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, if we bring in children, 1, 2, 3 children, my 120 whatever looks more like 60 being single, because now it's like, okay, kid, this, school, medical, sports, all that stuff goes down, daycare. So it's like, I need your money. That's why I say my woman's gonna work. She doesn't have to make. I mean, right now I would date a woman making 40,000 a year, and I made significantly more, but I'll be happy with that. She can work at the damn jewelry store. So I'm still 40K richer because I'm still paying my rent. I'm still paying my car note, my light bill, my cable bill, my grocery bill. I'm still paying it. So it's like you're still better off together than separate. So it's like, so I was getting groceries again today and I was looking around like, damn, these prices are crazy. And I don't live check to check, thank God. But I've been there and done that for a long time. So now I'm in a good spot. I ain't going back, but I couldn't imagine myself being a single mom with 1 or 2 kids by myself. By me being military, if I have my government job and my pension, I'm already covered, like for life. I'm not worried about anything. And plus I work hard. But for a lot of people, they're living check to check because it's just that tight right now. Kevin Samuels talked about it. Winter is coming. It's already come now. So we're seeing the fruits of that. So I'll leave it at that.
I tell you what, I absolutely care about what a woman makes. I do. And I say I do because, and I'm going to go back to the comment, we hear men say they don't care about your money. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I tell you what, it's like this, right? When a man starts to date a woman, right? Let's say someone that or even if you don't know, you're gonna try to find out as much as you can about that woman to formulate your view, your perception of who she is, what she can do for you, and how you guys can move forward together, right? As you're getting to know her, as you're creating that relationship, that bond, as you're checking her personality, money matters, right? Especially if you're a high earning man, right? Because now it's like this. I'll give you this scenario. No high earner, me. I'm gonna just say me because I'm a high earner, right? I'm not going on a trip with my broke friend because we not gonna be able to do high earner stuff if I'm going with my broke friends. I know who I can invite on what trips. You know what I'm saying? If we're going out the country, I went to Costa Rica a year and a half ago. We going to Costa Rica, I'm not inviting people that I know like can't, hold their own going to Costa Rica, right? So it's the same thing in a when you're joining into a relationship or you're meeting somebody. I'm not joining into this thing, and if you're not, I'm an over 150 kind of person, right? If you're not at least 80, I give you a good 80. If you ain't at least 80 or then I'm considering that when we going into this thing, right?
Wow.
And it's probably that's probably either going to be one of the first things that I address once I figure that out, or it's going to be like no, I'm good.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Or I'm gonna keep it real with you. It's gonna be we just gonna have fun with this thing kind of thing.
So hey, bro.
I like the honesty, yo.
Yeah.
Where you live at? So where you live?
I live in Alexandria, Virginia.
Okay, cool. Yeah. 150 is really damn good. Yeah, salute, man. Shit. Salute.
So, yes, it's expensive out here, I must say. Now, I'm just gonna go. I see y'all having your own conversation in here. That's what's up. I'm gonna hit some comments. What up, Cole? How are you? Thanks for being here. If you're still here, let's see. They say, "What up, Sherm? What up, Sherm?" Okay. Sherm got a valid point using the team or sports analogy. Hello, Raider Gaines. Thanks for being here. I appreciate it. It don't make sense though. It ends up adding stress on the relationship. I'm sorry. Are we talking about unrealistic, bruh? That's your responsibility. I think he's talking about doing the 70-30 aspect that you guys are talking about. Now, Raider Gaines. Let's see if you explain that on here. That just means y'all should have never got married in the first place. Okay, so he's a provider, full provider type of guy here. Okay, so Dark Matter says he got a point with that, but as Raider said, that means they shouldn't have got together in the first place. All right, we got some people saying whatever works for the family. So, I mean, it depends. I do understand what these guys are saying because there's things that happens in this society. I get that. Raider says men should never look to be provided for. Okay, these guys are not. They don't want to be provided for. They explained that having extra money is nothing wrong with that. So, all right, cool. Someone Coco K says thank you. How you say this? This name.
So that's my middle name.
That's your middle name?
That's my middle name. Yeah, and it's Padam.
What does it mean? I don't think I've heard of that one.
It's Greek. It means footpaths.
I like that. Footpaths. Okay, I like that. Let's see. Raider says I personally care more about her credit than income. Y'all checking credit too. I mean, I assume. Sherm talk about he want 80 salary income. So
at least.
At least.
All right.
Wow. Okay. All right. So now I have a question for you guys. Now, so both of you guys are dating, right? Or looking for a wife? Sherm, are you looking for a wife? Or no?
Yeah,
Okay.
dating to marriage.
Dating to marriage. There we go. So I have a question. Now, the challenges for dating as a Black man. Whoever wants to answer that, what are the challenges for you dating in this society today with women?
I'll go first. I think for one, well, challenges just depend on your circumstance, your situation. So for one, for me personally, one big challenge is that I'm a dad, and that I find in most cases the women that I find most attractive are single moms, right? So that's the one thing. The second thing is that it's the area that you're in, right? So I'm in the DMV, and the DMV is a weird beast because you find a lot of good, high earning women, right? Um, that have bumped into or been a part of situations or the dating pool here with a lot of losers for real. And these dudes are like they're putting it in a stance for every good dude, because maybe they got maybe they got a wife, right? Maybe they got a something on the side, and it's hurting these women's feelings. So now when they go into dating, right, they're going into it from the negative. Not all women, but in most cases, they're going into it and they're looking like, oh man, like he there's got to be something going on, or he's just like the last guy. So I think that's another challenge, and something that I run into. But yeah, just small hurdles here and there. What you got, Charlie?
I don't know, man. He, um, I think as a single man, it just depends. I think again, as I always say, I think that everything depends off of something else. I'm from Georgia. I moved to Phoenix from Houston. My experience in Houston is totally different from like Phoenix. You know, there's a lot of people in Houston that has money, but I'm a bigger fish in Phoenix than Houston because of population. Like as far as being a Black man, single with no children in Phoenix, I'm at the top of the list. In Houston, I would still be doing well, but it's like I'm still a regular fish in a big pond. So everything just kind of depends. I think that what's the second part of the question again, just so I can make sure I answer it like correctly.
What are the challenges for dating as a man in this society? Yeah.
Oh my God, that's a really tough question. I think it depends on what you like. If you want a submissive woman, if you want a feminine woman, if you want a woman who's not going to cause you trouble, then you know what the stats show. I was talking to one of my female friends earlier, and I asked her, and I was trying to be honest. I said, "Hey, let me ask you a question." I said, when people think about who's the most difficult race of women to date, who do they think about? And I said I wasn't going to lead with a certain group to keep it fair and to not, seem disrespectful. But I said, okay, you have Black, white, Asian, Hispanic. Those are only four groups. Who is the number one group that overall the masses would say is the most difficult to date? And I just sat back and I just waited. And she's like, oh, well, I'm like, cut the shit. Nobody here is ignorant. We know we if we're honest, we know who they say, and they as in the masses, myself included, who is the most difficult group. Why are we playing these games? I'm not saying it's true or false, but we still know what the perception is. Let's address it so we can fix it. Stop pretending that it's not a real issue. It is a real issue. That strong woman, queen bullshit, it's a problem. And men are tired of it. And I know I'm tired of it. I've dated white women before, and I can promise you, I've always told my Black friends. First of all, like, oh, you hate your skin color. I'm like, chick, my wife is Black. My ex-wife is Black, first of all. So you're already full of shit. But I will tell you for a fact, as a Black man, I've had way less headache dealing with other races than women. Period. I'm not lying to you. It is like night and day. And I always tell my sisters, check this out. I'm not saying that white women are better than you guys, because honestly, they're not.
Okay.
They're not even close better. They just move differently. And when you understand that, you understand what I'm saying. They operate differently. So until you guys know how to move better, they're gonna keep on going somewhere else because men are tired of dealing with bullshit and drama and all this. I'm a strong woman, queen, blah blah blah. We don't care. I don't need you to be strong. First of all, that's my title. That's not your title. Go be a woman that's God designed you to be.
Okay.
I'm
All
just saying.
right.
I'm just
You
saying.
ladies, you
Y'all
ladies.
listen.
Yeah. To me, it's like women want to be with a man, but y'all need to start listening to these men. You understand what I'm saying? Now, the Eric Harrison, thanks for being here. What's up? What up, yo? He says Houston offers many opportunities for many types of women.
Thanks.
Okay. All right, cool. So the next question is so the things you won't accept from a woman. Like you ain't having that, she's disqualified.
All right.
Okay, too easy. So basically, we're talking about deal breakers.
Mm-hmm.
Smoking,
Mm.
drinking excessively, and by that I mean alcoholic. That's just me personally, because I don't like liquor breath. It's just one of my top love languages is physical touch, and I like kissing and stuff. And if you got that wine breath, it's cool for a
Fine,
little
Brad.
bit. Yeah, it's cool for a little bit, but nah.
That's funny. Why?
But it was meant to be funny. But other than that, somebody who messes with my peace, because I'm sure all men could agree that peace peace in 2023 is probably one of the most important things. Somebody who doesn't value herself. If you don't have your own self value, or if you haven't figured out what it is, then we're probably not on the same level, anyways. Um, and then somebody who's decisive, like about what she wants and how she wants to go about getting it too. So those are the biggest things.
So can you explain the peace part? Someone that disrupts your peace? Because I don't think women understand that when you guys say it. They're like, "What are you talking about? I'm here. You should be peaceful. I'm beautiful. Love me love me as I am." So for you as a man, what is going to disrupt your peace?
What is going to disrupt it? It's going to be it's I guess anything that like detracts from um I guess from where I'm trying to go and at the rate that I can get there, right? So if I'm moving in a direction, let's say uh back in 2021 when I was, trying to get my master's, right? If I was dating someone that wasn't um that didn't understand that, right? That didn't understand that the majority of my time was going to go towards being a dad in school. Um, I would it kind of just takes away from like my ability to date. Like if you don't understand that, right? So I guess having a general level of understanding, right? Somebody just said in the chat, a bad attitude, that'll do it for real too, right? Having somebody with a bad attitude or a negative mindset, um, that's also counterproductive, and that messes with my peace. Um, Somebody who doesn't have anything to bring to the table, that also messes with my peace because, like I said, I have high expectations of a woman that I date, even down to financially, right? So if it comes down to it, and she has a mechanical problem, right, something that I can't fix, something that needs to, let's say the car needs to go to the shop, right?
Yeah.
Um, and this is her car. She can't like financially, get herself out of that situation. Um, Me helping or not, that's still a strain on my peace, right? Because I am having to do that. Um, because this is not something like coming into this thing, it's not something I purchased, right? This is not something we purchased together. This is something that you have, and that as an adult is your responsibility to help or to take care of and maintain. But that's just a small example. But yeah, those are certain things that'll kind of mess with my peace when I talk about peace.
Okay. I'm
And
glad you broke
like,
that.
I don't like to argue either.
Yeah.
I know there's a big difference between actually addressing issues and having meaningful conversations um, and arguments, but like when and arguing is not it.
It's not it. Now, for the ones who are in the chat and you would like to call up, all right, here we go.
Don't relax and take notes. Niggas need to wake up. Niggas need to relax and take notes. Niggas need to wake up. Niggas need to relax and take notes. While I take toast, relax and take notes. While I take.
All right. If you want to call in, please do so. Let me put the link in the chat. I'm just opening the floor.
Hey.
All right. There we go. The link is in the chat. I would try to pin it. Can I pin it? Oh, I can't. There we go. Link is in the chat. Now, so Cedric, Charlie Romeo, what are your thoughts on this? So the things you won't accept from a woman.
Well, before I get to that, let me please address whoever the person was in the comment section. Tried to make me and my guy feel like because we expect our woman to add value, to the household, that we should feel like less than men. Right, sure, bro. Yeah, right. Okay. Whatever. I do very well on my own. I can do fine with the woman. As a man, I choose not to. That's the difference between me and you. I'm already secure. All of my bills are already paid. And when I'm done with this phone call, I'm going downtown Scottsdale to spend a lot of money. So that whole, knock it off, man. I'm not rich. I'm not a doctor. I still live well. But we as men, that's why I said earlier to you, I can provide and take on the overall burden. Sorry, excuse me, sir. 70% versus 30% is pretty good. I think it's damn good. Versus right now, she's paying 100, going down to 30. Respectfully speaking, you sound dumb. So stop shaming men for requiring women to actually do some damn work. That's dumb. And people like you make other men go broke trying to appease women by trying to pump their chest up saying, I'm a man. Bro, I'm a man already. So knock it out. Because men go broke every day doing the bullshit that you're talking about. So knock it off. It's not good advice. It doesn't work. It hurts the men. It hurts good men. They go broke every day doing that BS. I can provide for myself and a woman just fine. And maybe even a kid. I don't have to, bro. You may have to prove a point. I don't have to. My life is very well already. So knock it off. Sorry from that.
Yeah, no, that's cool. Responding to the comments, and we're talking about, I think this one, Raider Games. That just means y'all should never have gotten married in the first place or want to be married.
Sure.
We're talking to this guy here. So that was in response to you, my friend. All right. So the things you won't accept from a woman are.
Thank you. I'm sorry. I got sidetracked, but I had to address that. I love confrontation. Let's talk about it respectfully, of course. The thing I won't accept from a woman is a woman that don't allow me to be led by God. to lead her. That's the biggest. That's the biggest thing for me, because like who I am, where I'm at, where I'm going, the things I have, has all been gifts from God. So somebody who doesn't allow me to do that and talk about God and her presence and give God glory, it's probably not going to work. No, it's actually not going to work. Um, Aside from that, I would think a woman who does not believe a man's true role is to be a leader. It's not going to work, because I'm not like fighting with you over this. Like, I'm not fighting with you. We're not like teammates and all this. There is only one general on the battlefield, military. There's only one president. There's not a code this. There's one governor. We're not teammates, but you're a good role player. If you don't understand that, go back and read your Bible. I'm not going to sit here and educate people about things that, go look it up. Understand why. If we're downstairs at night, I know you heard it before, but it's the truth. If we're downstairs at night, two kids, whatever, knock on the door, maybe break a broken window, I'm going downstairs to risk my life for you. Period. No questions asked. You're not doing that for me. So stop the cap. We know it's not happening. Nor do I want you to. Nor do I need you to. Let me do my job, but freaking follow my lead. All this man, woman, it's all bullshit. Because we know when shit hits the fan, most women are looking for men to go out there and lead and take care of business. Period.
Right.
Yeah, that's all I have. So
That's true. No, that's true. It makes me want to share one of my videos that I've made to kind of piggyback off of you guys, because there's a lot of women who they don't, it seems like they don't want like a good man type, or if they get a good man, they don't understand and appreciate this man. And it's weird to me. I don't understand. It's like they're too good for him. They saying that the man is too good for them. And when I hear that, I'm like, well, so you're saying that you're not good then, because I thought good and good matches together. I don't know why something opposite you're thinking about. So let me I'm just gonna play a clip here. So here we go. I'm gonna play this clip. I'm gonna share my screen, y'all, real quick. All right, let's see. Okay, here we go. All right, so this video right here.
A relationship and cut off an engagement from a great man. He was a good man. He loved God. He was a praying man. He loved and adored me. He was there for me. He was handsome. He was well educated. He didn't have any kids. He checked all the boxes. You're toxic as fuck. That's like getting an A on your test and you don't like that shit. You're really gonna ask the teacher to retake a test that you got an A on? Do you know how silly you're gonna look? Appreciate these men who are taking their time to appreciate you. If in your heart you cannot appreciate a great human being, something is wrong with you. And you know what? Keep that stuff to yourself, stay into your own bubble, and leave these people alone. I am telling you, that is adult bullying. If you want to deal with the Pookies and the Ray Rays and the Charles, by all means, they are waiting for your silly ass at the door. Him and his 10 kids with his 10 baby mamas. If you want to be number 11, and I don't want to hear you complaining about a damn thing when you go and do it. And I don't want to hear that you're jealous as hell when the good man that you left behind is married with a beautiful wife and beautiful children, living the best life that you could have had. So, earlier this year, I ended a relationship.
No worries. Yo, that's crazy. So I think when it comes down to it, it's the wasting time for me.
Yeah.
Because straight up, you wasting somebody's time here. And I think people have a right to want what they want, right? And people have a right to desire what they desire. And I think personally, when it comes to the rest of your life, like a life partner, you should not have to settle, right?
Mhm.
Now, I didn't say you ain't got to compromise, but you shouldn't have to settle. Those are two separate things. I'm saying, and I say that to say that like you should figure out, like you should be actively trying to figure out if this person is the person you want to spend the rest of your life with, like off the bat. Like you should be starting on your checklist, like
Right.
to hit those wickets and see if this person is right. And the moment that you figure out that they're not, that's when you have to say something. But
Hmm.
the problem comes when a lot of people they drag it out, or they feel that feeling of completion, they feel that feeling of fulfillment because they got another person that they waking up to every morning, right? Another person that they going to sleep with every night. But when it comes down to it, and this person is ready to commit to them for the rest of their life, they like, nah, that's scary. It's
Yeah.
scary. Oh, it should have been scary months ago when y'all realized that, hey, like we're not sleeping at home anymore. I'm not sleeping at my house no more. I got more stuff over at her house than I got at mine, and vice versa.
Yeah.
Like, that's when it should have been scary. Like that's when you should have, you know what I mean, really started to figure out if this person, if you want them in your life for the rest of your life. But
Hmm.
not doing that sooner than later. And that's when you got situations like that. And like you said, that's dumb. Like
Yeah.
that's dumb as hell.
Doesn't make any sense to me. Like if they're checking off all these boxes, then create another box and join the team. I have someone who is in the back. I don't know if you're gonna cam up or not, but I did see you in the chat, so I'm gonna add you here. Hustler and Muscular, are you there?
I'm here loud and clear.
Okay. Do you want to chime in on this question here? Things you want to accept from a woman. But first off, I'm sorry. Are you married, single, or divorced?
Single as of now.
Okay, cool. So, what are the things you won't accept from a woman in your dating journey?
Okay, what are some things I'm not going to accept if I want to take a woman seriously?
Mm-hmm.
Number one, you cannot be an advocate user of social media. Number two, you gotta dress appropriately and not provocatively in public. Number three, you cannot have a plethora of guy friends sliding in your DM.
Okay.
And number four, you cannot be a single mother. At the very least, a single mother of several kids. One child is my limit, but any more than two or more is my limit. That's how I
Okay.
set the bar.
Okay. Now, when you say you would possibly accept one child, now why are you saying that? What are you basing that opinion off of?
Excuse me, come again?
So you want a woman who either has no kids or maybe one. Why do you say that? Why don't you want a woman that has children?
Because I don't have kids of my own. First of all, I don't have kids of my own. And second of all, I'm not trying to be a stepdad to a child that's not mine. I live by the old saying, if it's not my sperm, then it's not my concern. And plus, a lot of drama ensues when you have, men trying to be with these single mothers and then the father's involved. And now it's a baby daddy stepfather kind of thing that can result in that can have dangerous consequences. So no, I don't want that for myself. I really don't want that for myself.
Okay. Now I understand this because you don't have any
I'm
kids.
strict.
He said you're strict. You came off
I'm
strong.
strict.
Nah, hey, he ain't strict as out. Because you know why? We're in the same boat. Exactly. And I always tell my friends right now, if I meet a woman that has a kid with a father involved, now I gotta deal with you, your kid, and your baby daddy. And it's like, damn, okay, do I just
Correct.
sit here and do I just find me a woman with no kids and just X out all the problems? Or do I see value in her and say, you know what? Let me see what she's gonna like. So for example, my grandma, when she married my granddaddy, she had 5 kids. He had no kids, but her husband had died. And it was back in the day, you know what I'm saying? And so now it's like we have this crazy blended family, but I have respect for her. At least she was married. Her husband died. She was doing the right thing, trying to go and save somebody. This different conversation. At the same time, as a man, I'm not gonna sit here and act like, oh, because I don't have any kids, that I haven't done something to get kids, because that's bullshit too. I have. I've slipped up. I've done this and done that, but luckily, by the grace of God, I don't have any kids yet. That's not because I've been so freaking super responsible. It just hasn't happened, thankfully. But no woman should be demonized for making a mistake or two. Now, like my guy, I'm the same way. I have a 1 kid limit for many reasons. And I'm talking about a 1 baby daddy limit too. I ain't dealing with you, your kid, him, and him. That's too many damn people. So, and plus, then you look at the finances. It's like, at what point do you say, okay, we have to have a standard? So I do have a 1 kid limit too. Um, but I always tell my friends and I encourage people, you can have your opinion, but always leave room for God. God might have the perfect woman for you who happens to have 2 children. You have to ask and seek discernment. And you'll know when you know. But I'm like, okay, without God, I'm like, my limit's 2. But ultimately, my life is about what God say, not what I want. So if I lead with God, I'm always in the right. So life is always good.
That's true. Now you just described
Okay,
it.
let me say this real quick.
Oh, go ahead.
Okay, now for the record, let me make this clear. Women who were widowed because their husband passed away, they get a free pass. I'm not going to judge or fault those kind of women. If you were married at some point, you had kids by this man, but he dies of health complications or whatever, you get a free pass because at least you're not some irresponsible, bitter, angry, bitter baby mama out there. You were once a wife, a good wife, I speculate, and due to circumstances beyond your control, now you're widowed. So you get a free pass in that regard.
Okay, and I think women who are single mothers, you should definitely be having these conversations with people that you're dating, because I have the platform where I could share men's perspectives, because this is how it is out there. All of the men are not the same. They're not going to say like what Hustler and Charlie Romeo is going to say, but there are men that are going to say it. Be prepared for that. Now, what Charlie Romeo said, his last statement was, if God puts it in the space where you might have a suitable partner that has kids, that he actually described kind of like me. So I didn't have any kids coming in, but my husband did. He had kids in his prior marriage. And I said to myself, now this is different. I'm speaking from a woman's perspective, but he told I told him, I didn't tell him, but before him, I was like, I don't want anybody with kids because I don't want to deal with a lot of drama that it comes with. And I've been saying that for years. And then I get with him and he had a kid, but he was a good man. So I looked past that, literally. I'm like, okay, let's eliminate this stuff. Let me look at him. What can he, I guess, provide? I'm looking for a long-term commitment. And he checked a lot of the marks. So I gave him a chance, and here we are today. Now, the men that have kids, though, I mean, in my opinion, I feel like, you should pick a woman with kids because you guys can relate on that aspect. The woman hopefully will be open to, being a better step parent because she already has her own kids. Now, that's just my opinion. Sherm, do you have anything to say to this?
No, not right now.
Okay. Yeah. So, I mean, it is what it is. Now, let me see. I'm sorry, getting into comments really quick. Lady Di, you need to have a dating show. Let's get it. Yeah, that's in the works. I do want to provide that because it's hard to find someone. And honestly, I kind of know how to kind of wean out like the bad ones. Now, some women and men, they know how to show their tail. It might not be in the beginning. So there's going to be a dating process that you guys will go through, and I will help you with that. So we could kind of get down to the nitty gritty of it, because women and men can show their tail quick. It's just you got to ask the right questions. That boy for life says, "How do I schedule a session with you, Lady Di?" Now, if you want to do it online, I do coaching online. So you just schedule a live with me Monday or Wednesday at 6 p.m. Or Friday, which is today at 9:30. If you can send me a DM on my Instagram, or leave a comment in one of my videos. I don't know if you have Instagram, but it's at Lady Di. Let me see if I can put it. Here we go. Right here, at Lady Di DTM. You can find me anywhere on social media. Just send me a message and we can talk about it. All right, you guys. So I have another question for you all. Let's see. Now, this is just a topic. Being alone isn't fun. There are women who would want to be alone. They're like, nah, I'm good, better off single, not dealing with drama, blah, blah, blah. So as a man, do you agree with that, being alone? Go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. I was just getting ready to answer the question. No, I think it's bullshit. I think it's cap. I always tell people that, being alone is probably the most unnatural thing you can do. God made Adam, God made Eve, because God told Adam it's not good for man to be alone. So we can stop right there. You know what I'm saying? Just like for example, for Christmas, for Thanksgiving, and for New Year's, I was like, man, you know what? I would love to have a woman to spend money on. Ain't this crazy? I would love to go through a headache of saying okay, baby mentioned the Gucci purse. She mentioned going to, I don't know shit. A damn BBL. I don't know. But I want a woman that I can be like, you know what? Valentine's Day coming up. I ain't got nobody. I'm gonna go spend my bag on my damn self. Mm-hmm. But it's it sucks because it's you get older and older and older. And it's every year it's okay, I could have created a memory for Valentine's Day, Christmas, Thanksgiving, the damn Super Bowl. I don't know. I just feel that life is about relationships. As Kevin Samuels would always say, I can be living the life of a king, but if I'm doing it by myself, who gives a damn? It's like going to jail, trying to take a shower every day. For what? I don't want to smell good around a bunch of, no, I want to do it for a woman. Like my whole life, everything we do as men, if we think about it, if we're honest, it's not about other men, it's about a person, a female. We have our purpose, but we can't have a purpose without a woman. So I definitely value women. I realize that a good woman can and will change a man's life, period. You can have everything in the world without a woman. I mean, think about it. James Brown already said it. This is a man's world, but it won't mean nothing without who? A woman or a girl. So ultimately, yes, you need women. Women are valuable. Women should be loved and cherished because that's a part of us that we need. That's what God gave us. That's why you have masculine and feminine energy. I can't get what I need from a man. Shout out to the LBGTQ, whatever. Shout out, salute, respect. But I know what I need. I need what God gave me. That's the masculine energy to feed off of feminine energy. So yes, we need each other. Absolutely.
Okay, that's what's up. I'm glad you shared that. So being alone isn't fun. Do any of you guys agree, Hustler or Sherm?
I mean, being alone can be fun. I think it depends on how you spend your time being alone. Because I think as men, we are more apt to wanting to being alone because we spend our time building ourselves mentally, physically, and psychologically doing some self-reflection. But unfortunately, you have women that don't want to do that. So I think women suffer the most from loneliness because now they got to look back on their lives, look back on their mistakes. And we live in a society where women don't want to take accountability for any of the things that they do. So when they start going to that self-reflection mode, it kind of hits them hard in the face. Like, where did I go wrong with my life? And they don't want to have to go through that. So when women are alone, I think it bothers them the most than it does us men because we're too preoccupied to worry about being by ourselves. I mean, it's going to creep up on us at some point, but we have things to distract ourselves. Women don't have that unless you want to count going to the clubs, racking up a body count, and having hot girl summers as a bit of a distraction, but it's not going to do anything for them except make the problem worse. That's like somebody trying to quit alcohol by going to the bar. You're only making the problem worse. Why would you engage in something that's basically the reason why you're in the situation you're in now? And that's what a lot of women do. They suffer from loneliness, but they try to cure it by doing things that led to where they are now. Like I said, they want to rack up a body count. They want to have hot girl summers, get attention from that guy, just to get rid of the loneliness. But at the end of the day, it's not helping them any. But we men, we spend our time being productive for the most part. We spend our time building something, being on our purpose. So maybe we're not as bothered by loneliness as men, as women are. That's my take on it.
Man, I say it don't matter who. Like, it don't matter what gender, male or female. I think loneliness affects both genders just as much, right? And sometimes I guess as men, we want to say it doesn't affect us as much, but it do. That's why a lot of us are in relationships that we should have left or should have been out of a long time ago. Or a lot of us are, in situationships or dealing with people that don't deserve us, right? Or that don't deserve our quality of love or our level of love. You know what I mean? I saw one video one time. It said, we out here giving second interviews to people who are underqualified. And I think a lot of that comes because we're lonely, or a lot of us are lonely. But yeah, I think it falls to both. But I think in a lot of cases, women are more in tune with their feelings and emotions. So they may recognize it sooner, but that's not to say that guys aren't lonely out here and they know it, right? But in a lot of cases too, what I see is that the way that we deal with loneliness is different amongst the genders because you got dudes will go to sex if they're lonely, straight up. Dudes trying to smash. Women, they go to emotional ties and things that form emotional bonds, right? So like they'll want to, if they're lonely, right, they'll start leaning, even if it's a friend, they'll start leaning on the friend of the opposite sex in ways that are not necessarily physical. But everybody got needs. Don't get me wrong. Like women still want sex too, but women are men are faster to go to sex than women are. But nobody likes to be lonely, for real.
Yeah, I agree. Because, with Hustler's point, there are women who literally they want to be single so they could be free and kind of do whatever they want. Hence, that's why they're single. They don't want to have order with a man because they don't understand how to even conduct themselves in order, because a lot of them are in chaos with that. And they want to be free to be, have sex whenever they want with whoever they want. But then there are women who are single because they're too damn picky. They don't know what they want. They see somebody that could be a potential, but then they're like, no, he's too nice. He's too boring. That type of stuff. And then you got men out here single for no reason. And then some without kids. I don't know if that's you guys' issue, Hustler and Charlie, but women are very, very picky and selfish in that regard. Like, they don't consider everything. They'll just look at a man and be like, oh, I don't like the way his shoes look. He's dirty, or his income is too low.
And you know what? Let a man have similarly ridiculously standards and watch him catch a lot of hate. Like if I said I don't like Lady Di because her hairstyle looks like crap, or I don't like the shoes she wearing, her dress is too short. Can you imagine the kind of hate I'm going to get from the public? Mm-hmm. So women can have standards, but men have to just take whatever comes their way. Does not compute. That's why the world's in the shape it's in now.
Yeah.
And I mentioned earlier how, yes, we men built the society, but it's the women making the rules for said society. And that's one of their dumbest rules right there, the double standard. I can't have a standard as a man. We can't have standards as men, but women can have all the standards in the world. He got to be this height. His hair got to look like this. He got to dress like this. I'm not dating no guy in no suit. Stupid stuff like that is what's holding women back. So they're the ones making all the dumb rules for the very society that we're creating. And now they got a new thing. Well, it's not new per se, but they got a thing going around that say if you're over 30, single with no kids, something wrong with you. What kind of stupid rule is that? Seriously? And then you'll be the main one complaining about the rise of single motherhood, the men who are irresponsible with their seeds. Irresponsible with their seeds, having kids by this woman, having kids by that woman, smashing your auntie, smashing your cousin, smashing everybody in sight. And here are some brothers right here in this panel who are responsible, and yet y'all don't want to accept that. Why?
Yeah.
What's the problem?
It's
ridiculous.
I have another video to share, and this is an intake from someone. His name is Trigger Mike. He had a video saying that women don't like to help, and this is one of the issues.
A woman helping her man.
This is one of the issues that I'm going to share really quick. Hold on, let me get it. All right. I know I'm slow. All right, here it is. Okay, hold on. All right, so I made this video, I think, a couple of days ago, but here it is.
A woman helping her man is her helping herself. So fellas, take time to understand this concept and don't settle for less. If she can't help you, she's not worthy of you. Send her back to the street.
All men don't come fully packaged like a new pair of heels, and you don't either. You want a big house? Stop spending your money on fake nails, fake hair, and a fake ass. He's not a millionaire? Help him get it. Don't like the way he dressed? Get new clothes. You don't like the new clothes? Switch up the style. There's a lot of styles you could choose from. He's not tall enough? Your ass is not fat enough. Don't like your in-laws? They don't like you either. Let him fix it. Even a wife that has a husband that's a millionaire, help her husband get more millions. If you are not willing to help when need be, then you don't need anybody. This world is not based off of one person doing all the work and think they're about to be successful. Not in schools, not in restaurants, not at the hospital, and not in your relationship. Teamwork will always make the dream work. So if you want to know why things are not working out, replay this clip. All right. So to me, one of the issues is women don't want to help. They want it to be provided for fully. And I'm talking about with anything. They want people to just come fully at a certain point. And if not, we can't even work it out. And I think that's weird to me. No one comes like that.
Right. Let me say this real quick. And I think that's the problem right there. There is nothing wrong with a woman helping her man get to the top. If he's on his purpose, on his grind, doing what he got to do, she can sit there and be the support. She can sit there and watch this man build. But what you got women out here doing nowadays, they want to meet you at the finish line instead of being on the sideline. That's where you have the problem. They want to be at the finish line and not at the sideline. They want you to come to the table already built, already got your empire, already a billionaire, and all she got to do is just walk on in with her little high heels, in the words of O'Shea Duke Jackson, sandaling it up, button it up, and walk on the red carpet into your empire. She didn't do anything to help you. She wasn't there while you were building. She wasn't helping you with anything. She was not your support. She was just playing. She was nothing, just waiting for you. That's where you tend to have the problem. That's all I'm saying.
Okay. You're on mute.
Oh, sorry about that. Got a little
There
carried
you
away. Salute, brother. I definitely agree with you. Very insightful comments. That's why, earlier I had to come back on and defend myself and also my guy because there was a person in the comments that said, that made this comment about if you can't take care of the entire flock, you shouldn't be married. Man, knock that shit out. Nobody you know in your family, your grandparents, they didn't do that the entire time. It didn't work. Like, why are we playing this game? If you black, you didn't come from that bloodline. You might have had somebody in your family, yeah, but overall, everybody worked. All right, that's how we build and grow. Um, if I was a multi-millionaire, my wife would still work. Yeah, in real life, she would still work. I want you to have your own identity. First of all, I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow to where if I lose this all, period. I want my wife, my rock, my woman to know how to still go out there and get it. And I don't want to handicap her by having her stay at home like she's useless and can't do shit. What's hard about that to understand? Everybody needs to work. It's all over the Bible. You get what you work for. Go out there and work. Yeah, raise a family, daycare is expensive. I get it. But at some point, baby, all right, the kid's 7 years old now. You want to go back to work now? You know what I'm saying? Like, at what point you want to go back to work? We need the extra money for something. If not for yourself, for down the line. If you want to live a long and healthy life, okay, this may be when you're 75 years old. But you ain't working at Walmart saying thank you. You need the extra money for something. Even if you don't need it right away, you will at some point. If you're able and capable and healthy and God has blessed you, go out there and work. I don't give a damn who it is. I ain't saying you got to work 40, 50 hours a week, but do something. Earn extra income so we can go out and either bless ourselves or bless somebody else. But yeah, you need to work. Before I go real quick, I just want to say thank you guys for all, joining in. This has been fun. I freaking love this. Lady Di, you already know I rock with you. You're awesome. Keep doing God's work. I'll be watching. I'll be supporting. And please have me back. But I have to go eat. I'm starving. I wish I could stay longer. I really love this. You guys are very inspirational. Thank you all for the insight. Thank you for helping me learn and grow. One love.
Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks, man. Have a good one.
Yes. Bye-bye. See you next time.
All right, always.
All right. If you guys have to go, definitely just let me know. Against the chat really quick. Dabby So Art, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it. New face, or at least that I've seen that you commented. Big Bad Bull, thank you. You are awesome as always. I appreciate all the support you have been giving me on this channel. Okay. There was a question up here. Someone asked, let me find it. It was something about if a woman gives you 90%, where is it?
Okay. Yeah, I saw that one too.
Okay. Oh, I don't see it now. If a woman gives you
95%.
Uh-huh. Oh my gosh, I just seen it. Here we go. Eric Harrison says, what if she has 90% of your list? Is she off the table?
No, she's not.
I don't think so.
Nah, like I said before, it comes down to just because you, when it comes down to the rest of your life, like you shouldn't have to settle, but you do have to compromise, and you are going to have to compromise on some things because, like, nobody's perfect. First of all, you want to find someone as close to your perfect as you can, right? To something that complements you and makes you guys a hell of a team. So, if she got 90% of the list, we can work with that other 10.
Okay, well, that's good. Hope for Now, someone in the chat, off the beaten path, which I'm pretty sure you've probably seen this. Are you guys both single? Sherm and Face by Cole. Maybe you guys should get together.
Yeah, I saw that.
Okay, well, maybe. I don't know. Hello, Express. Thanks for being here. I appreciate it. Express says, I don't think he's strict. Okay, this is about Hustler when someone said that he's strict. You say, I don't think he's strict. He has standards and not compromising for anyone. And women should be the same when picking a husband. There are always exceptions to the rule, but everyone has their choice.
Thank you, Miss Empress, whatever her name is. She understands.
Impress. I'm sorry. Impress. Yes. She
I
understands.
think the Empress was very impressed.
Yes. Thanks for being here, new face. Let's see. Face by Co responds and says, "Yes, it's important to know what you want and what you are not willing to put up with. Time is too precious to be wasted with someone you have no future with." Okay. Let's see, who else did I respond to? I'm sorry, y'all. I'm just trying to get it. All right. Off the Beaten Path says, my husband is Slavic, so his mentality is different than Americans, but his mom is a homemaker and has been since she was 20. Her and his dad have a beautiful partnership. Hustler, do you agree with the 70-30, 50-50 lifestyle, or you want to be the provider fully?
I want to say I want to be the provider, but she can get in where she can fit in. I mean, do I need my wife working almost as much as I do? I don't think so, because it's been a proven fact time and time again that when you got the man is working and at the same time the woman is working and they're both making even income, she gonna feel as though there is no need to submit, there's no need to cooperate, there's no need to look at him as head of the household because she's just as much of a head as he is. So your woman is doing more than you or just as much as you, that can be detrimental to the relationship, but to each his own, I guess, because you do have 50-50 couples that do work out. This was 10, 15, 20 years ago. That kind of stuff may have worked back then, but I can't see that working in the modern era. So I think the man should be the provider, but the woman can get in whatever she can fit in. That way she can fall in line and stay within her femininity instead of going out there hustling and busting her butt like the man is, and it's thus building up her masculinity to match the man's. Seriously, we don't need two masculine people trying to run a doggone household, let alone be in charge of the relationship. So let the man provide and let the wife just get in where she can fit in. And if he falls on hard times, she better stay there and be there and do what she got to do to fit in. Because, people getting laid off, people losing their jobs, inflation. So he falls on hard times. She better get in where she can fit in and be there to help him out whenever he needs help, instead of walking out on his ass for someone better.
Yeah, that's very true. Women do that all the time. They're like, oh, you're not making enough, or you lost your job, so I'm out because you need to get it together. But it's hard sometimes to when you get laid off to find another job, especially quick, especially for a Black man. It's very hard to get that. So women need to be more patient. And like he said, get in where you fit in. If you can contribute, do it. But don't be complaining because you're not contributing and he has to find his way. So Raider Gaines says, stay-at-home mom is a serious job. Test every aspect of you as a person. Let's not minimize that. Have you guys ever experienced, I guess, having someone stay at home with kids, or what's
You know what? I got a female friend from high school that said she was a stay-at-home mom for her husband, and for the most part, it worked out. So it can be done. So we can't just discredit that and say that women should be in the workforce like the man, because you can be a stay-at-home mom. It is considered a serious job. I got female friends from high school that did that. They worked for a while, then they became stay-at-home moms when they got pregnant and had their kids. So it can be done. And for some relationships, maybe that's the way it needs to be. Because if a woman just had a baby or whatever, she got kids running around the house, who's gonna take care of the kids? Think about that. Who gonna watch your kids while you out there busting your butt working? So that's something to think about right there.
Okay. So I have a question for you guys. Would you go down on looks for a submissive woman?
I probably would. Okay, can you elaborate on that for us, please? When you say go down on looks, you mean she's a 6 out of 10, but she's got an excellent physique and she's willing to cooperate, or she's just flat out ugly, but she's cooperative. Which one is it at?
Okay, so she's a 5, but she's submissive. So whatever 5 is to you, that's what she is.
Can she looks max? You know, get her physique where it needs to be, a supermodel physique. Because I've seen females with average looking faces, like a 5 or 6 in the face, but they got like a 9, 10 physique in the hips, the thighs, the waist, the butt, the everything. So
no,
can you compromise on that?
None of that. Just an average woman. Average women don't have their body together. Let me just say that. So
you made it more complicated now.
I'm just, but it's a question because there are submissive women out here. They're just not probably approached by y'all because
Lady Di. That's probably why they submissive, because they ugly. There's
that too.
You can be as submissive as you want to be if you ugly. I mean, you ain't got nothing else going on if you
Not only that, if she's not attractive, she got to work on her personality, her attitude, everything, and the whole 9. Have you noticed that a lot of these beautiful women are like between a 7 and a 10, they have the worst attitudes, the most stuck up, entitled, bitchy attitudes? Excuse my language. So that kind of ties in. The prettier she is, the more entitled she's going to be. Believe me, I've experienced this firsthand. I've been around the block with plenty of females whose looks range between a 7 and maybe a 10. Most of them weren't bad, but none of them were fit to be in a relationship because they feel like, oh, I got options. Why should I settle for just you? Okay, then. You ain't my only option, sweetheart. I got plenty to choose from besides you. So we got to compromise on something. You want to be free? Let me be free. You want to see other men? Let me see other women. You got your standards. I got my own standards. You ain't the only hot girl I'm dealing with. So, hey, that's the way that goes.
So to answer the question, no. It's a no for me.
Oh, a no. You're like, hell nah, you gotta look good.
Yeah, you do. I mean, that's me. That's my choice. I would want somebody who looks good and who also has other attributes. But I wouldn't like sacrifice the one for the other. Like, nah.
Yeah, you want them to match your fly. So I get it. Because she's gonna be on your arm. So a woman on your arm, they're not going to know that she's submissive and she has this great quality trait. They're just going to look at her like, she all right. And he with her.
You know what's crazy is the only people who need to know that my woman is submissive is me and her. Like, those are the only people where it really matters. So
yeah, I like that. It makes sense.
But the way she looks, matters to the world.
For sure. I agree. Raider says if a man downgrades his expectations, he will find himself later in life having regrets, and that will impact the woman's self-esteem even more.
Yeah, that can happen. And not only that, let's say you do hook up with a woman who's like average in the face and average in the body. One day you're going to come across that beautiful 8 out of 10 bombshell, look back on this and be like, why did I choose that other woman when there's this beautiful bombshell right here filling me? So you got to watch out for that. Choose someone that you know can at least compete with other beautiful women as far as looks are concerned. Because as men, we are visual creatures. We like what we see. I'm not ashamed of that, and neither should you be ashamed of that. We're visual. That's what we go by first before we go looking at everything else. And if your man ain't right, your looks go out the window, the sexual attraction goes out the window. So hey, that's how that goes. So pick someone that you know can at least content with other women as far as looks. That way you won't be regretting your decision in the long run. I had a buddy of mine that did that, and that's why he ended up cheating on his girlfriend, his little slimy ass. Oh boy.
That's funny. Okay, so I like that perspective. That was different. It makes sense though, because you know what? Even me, I'm married or whatever. I'm like, look, outside of this house, there's other women that look like me or better. So if my man desires me in the way where, like you were saying, hustler, that's how it should be. Because imagine having someone that's not as cute, and you're going outside and you're seeing all these cuteness, like what you were saying. Pretty privilege. Someone said impress says pretty privilege. Now, when someone says pretty privilege, do you guys know what that means?
It means the ability to do whatever you want just for the simple fact that you're pretty or attractive. I think men and women have it, but I think women flex it the most.
Yeah, I agree.
Think about that. The Chads and the Tyrones can get away with doing everything. The 6 foot tall alpha Chads of the world can do things that we average, below average dudes cannot get away with. So it goes both ways, but I think the females flex and flaunt it the most.
They do. Now, women get pretty privileged automatically depending on what's going on. So let's say, for example, I'm going to use the club scene because that's simple. You're at the club, you go to the bar, a man offers you a drink, not just to get in your drawers. I'm not going to use that point, but because you look good, they want to offer things, they want to pay for you. Naturally, you're going to get privilege because you look good. But women do not rely on your cuteness to get you and land you a good man, because that's not going to work. They are looking for more. But if you don't provide more, you will be dismissed. You won't be even looked at. You will be in the category with all those other women they don't even want.
Right.
Out of your mouth is important, because you look good and you start talking a whole bunch of ratchet shit, you might as well close that chapter. He don't want you unless he's ratchet himself, but that's rare.
Yeah. I mean, he'll probably go home with you at the ending of the night, something I personally recommend you don't do, but at the ending of the day, he is not going to want to date you. And you're absolutely right. Women get those privileges. I don't see a lot of men. I don't see a lot of women paying for men's drinks or asking men for dances unless he just balling out of control like they go up in the club looking like you about something, wearing the nicest clothes, like you got to be Drake or what's that boxer name, Floyd Mayweather, just to get that kind of status. Mm-hmm. You got to be on that level to get that kind of status, and none of us can do that. I know I sure as hell can't. So it's more an advantage for the women and less of a thing for us men.
I agree. I think also men being tall, women like that. So if you're tall, I don't even know if that's a privilege, but you would get approached quick. Tall and cute, you're going to get approached real quick.
That's fact. I'm only 5'7", so don't look at me like that.
Your boy 6'2". Tall.
Oh, okay. All right, so you're in the tall gang, Sherm. So
I hope so.
Then what does that leave me? The mighty midgets? Is that what I am? The mighty midgets?
I mean,
the muscular midgets.
There you go. Talk that talk, my guy.
Muscular midget. I want to talk about this real quick because this is a big issue. So, Sherm,
yo,
you're tall, attractive to some women, right? Do you get approached by women, or do you have to approach them?
To be honest, it just depends on the woman. Like, it depends on their age, in most, right? The older women, they don't care. Older women, yeah, and not talking about like not talking about cougars, but I guess you could consider anybody that's older than you kind of like a cougar. But in most cases, older women are more outward about what they want, or about like what they find attractive. Younger women, no, not so much. I guess younger women are still in the mindset of, hey, like I want to be pursued or I want to be approached. But you know, a lot of older women are like, nah, like I know what I want. I done already like had this, that, and the third, right? So now I see something. They're more direct and more intentional about how they go about things. So
yeah.
Like women alike, it's not really. I don't know. It kind of just depends on where I'm at and what's going on at the time. Because in some cases, I don't know. Let's say I'm going out with the fellas on a fellas night. I might just not be like in the mood, you know, to be approached, or I might make myself unapproachable. And dudes do that for real. Like for me, if I don't want to be bothered, then I'll have like a certain look on my face, or I'll have my body posture a certain way. It don't happen that often,
Yeah.
but when I, you know, what I mean, when I don't want to be bothered, I kind of just, you know what I mean, just deal with the fellas or whatever. But in most cases, like going out, like it's like under the assumption that I'm gonna have to deal with people, like, or I'm gonna have to interact with people. So in most cases, I go out under the mindset of, you know what I mean, kind of whatever happens, happens.
I hope you guys are taking notes of that. He's putting you guys on game. Woman, he said he will have that unapproachable look. Don't fuck with him. I like that.
It don't happen often, but yeah, like people should be able to, like we talked about earlier, emotional intelligence. Like read the room. Like if
Yeah.
somebody look like they don't want to be approached, then they probably don't. But if somebody does, then if they do, then they'll show you. You'll know when you know.
Yes. They would know. I mean, you should know. Like a man is looking at you off, off and on. That's the sign. He may sit down a little closer to your direction and body posture towards you, like you could come here. Those are signs. But if a guy is standoffish and he has like the straight face and like, look in the opposite direction, even though he see your ass standing there.
Lady Di, I gotta stop you, right?
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna give you some game. I'm gonna get
Okay.
it game, right? In some cases, women find that attractive. Like a man that doesn't show her any attention, right? Or doesn't even look her way, doesn't approach her whatsoever. A lot of women find that attractive. And I know it sometimes, right?
I bet.
So so in that case, like that's even more of a, I guess, that makes women want to approach you more, or makes them want to come out of their shell a little bit more, or they see somebody who's not talking to anybody, right? Which means this single probably person in a club or in a bar or in a social setting is not talking to other females either. So they're like, okay, there's nobody. Let me go ahead and go over there and see what he's talking about.
I like that perspective. 1 second, Hustler. What's up, Just Rules? Peace, Lady Di. Hearing the conversation seems like I'm late. Yeah, I started this at 9:30, but you could definitely watch the playback. Let's see who else. Go ahead, Hustler.
All right, now to piggyback on what he was saying, he's right, because it kind of happens with me on and off. I could be walking down the street, minding my own business, and some beautiful, not bothering nobody. And yes, some beautiful lady will walk past me, get my attention. I say hi, I may say hi and just keep on walking, and then she'll probably stop me and make a conversation. So that has happened to me before. But the thing about this is, he was talking about just walk around, act all standoffish, and just ignore the women. That may work for some people, but it ain't gonna work for everybody. That old being aloof in public, that's not gonna work for everybody. It may work for you because you're taller, probably more buffer, but that doesn't work for everybody. Because I've heard women complain about going to open spaces and the guys there are just awkward. They seem like weirdos. The type of guy that may follow you home or something like that, all because they do the same thing that this man was just saying. They go into these public spaces being aloof, not caring, not trying to talk to anybody, and they come off as being weirdos or creeps or something like that. So that's something to push back on. That's not going to work for everybody. It barely works for me, because sometimes I may get the same kind of pushback because of the way I look and how, like I said, I'm only 5'7", so I'm not going to get that same kind of, response when I act aloof. But to your credit, it's happened to me before. I act aloof, and then women pay the most amount of attention to me in that regard. So it's kind of a mixed bag for me personally.
So Sherm, I'm gonna ask you a question. So because you're in the tall group, and most women want that, when you are interested in a woman, do you get a lot more yeses to the next step, date, or however you do it, or do you still get rejected?
I can't say whether or not it's because I'm tall or not. I don't know. It might be.
I'm telling you, women look at that. They are crazy about the height, and if you don't have it, they'll be a lot more dismissive. Like they might talk to a guy that's a little shorter, But then he say one wrong thing, they done. That's just what it is. I don't know. It's weird to me, but
You know what? That's happened to me a few times in the past. So you ain't lying. That has happened to me. I've seen it happen to other people. So yeah, he can get away with that, but some of us can't get, like I said, some of us can't get away with doing the same thing that the so-called alpha chads can get away with. Cause that's happened to me a few times in the past. I ain't gonna lie.
yeah. So I mean,
But kind of to answer your question, yeah, I get a lot of yeses, but I don't know if it's because I'm tall. Like I might be funny, right? I got jokes. I don't know. I think I got a good personality, a good sense of humor. I know how to read the room. I pick up on social cues pretty good. So I don't know. It could be a number of things.
I'm not trying to discredit everything else, but I'm telling you, it's because you're tall. For facts, that is the biggest thing. They're like, check, and then if you're cute to them, 3 checks. That's it, and then everything else, falls in line.
I was gonna say the goatee. Maybe it's the goatee. Ladies love the goatees.
The goatee, yeah.
I usually got the baby face, but I appreciate you because I'm definitely keeping this thing now.
I don't know. I get more attention when I rock my goatee than I do when I'm rocking a face full of hair. I can't rock the Rick Ross look like most of y'all do. You see how LeBron James be looking at LeBron James? I can't do that. No, I can't do that.
Nah, man, that shit look weird.
I rock the goatee. I get more attention rocking my goatee than I do rocking a face full of hair. So that's just me.
Let me see. Coco K says, so Hustler, respectfully asking if you met the woman of your dreams and she makes an I can't even say it. Astronomical. I'm sorry.
Astronomical.
Yes. Amount than you. I said that all jacked up. If she make a lot more money than you, but she's the woman of your dreams, what are you gonna do?
So if she makes more money than me, would that be a turnoff?
Yeah, that's what she's asking.
I think that depends. I mean, if she's working more hours than me, then of course she's gonna bring in more money than me. If I'm working less hours, then yeah, she's gonna bring in more money. But I'm not gonna say that's a total deal breaker. Just don't come at me with no nasty attitude because you know how women do. They will come in if she's making more money than the man, she's not gonna respect that man. She's gonna look at him as being beneath him and she's above him. So if you're making more money than me, you better be humble, you better be respectful, and you better not be biting my head off, flaunting your damn status in my face. Otherwise, you can just get the hell up out of my face. I'm not dealing with your happy ass, plain and simple. If you can't be humble, you better be ready to rumble, plain and simple.
Astronomical. What?
Thank you. I said it so.
And by the way, define astronomical. What is that?
So that's why I just said it. Go ahead.
A lot, but like, what are we talking about here? Like astronomical, does it mean like twice as much? Does it mean like a third or what?
Yeah, that's why I was just saying a lot of money. But Coco K, if you're still in the chat, please give the dollar amount because your type of money he's probably already making. So what do you mean?
Now, if you put in OT, working overtime more so than me, then yeah, you're gonna make more. Your check gonna be higher than mine. That's not a deal breaker for me personally because I see how that works. If you're putting in more hours than me, OT or whatever, staying the extra hours, okay, maybe you'll bring home more money than me. But define astronomical for me, somebody.
Please put that in the chat. I want to shout out someone really quick. Thank you so much, Just Rules. He is one of my biggest supporters on this channel. He has been supporting. I really do appreciate it. Definitely had to shout you out. Thank you for being here. Okay, so you guys, let me see if Coco K, somebody put a dollar amount in this chat. Explain what that means. All right. I think there was another question in here for you guys. Let's see. Let's see. See, Just Rule says, I'll admit, particular beautiful women did prey on me to court them, and I'm not over 6 feet.
That man said, "Pray on me."
You must look good then.
My man said, "Pray on me." Okay, yeah.
You must be. I don't listen. I don't even want to say all these different things, but what women like is flashy. Not saying that you're flashy in a bad way, but you hold yourself a certain way. Women flock to that. Look really good, or you're really muscular or something, because you're talking about prey on you. So listen, okay. Raider Gain says, is it privilege or just preference? Because we all have preference. Like most men prefer looking at Beyonce over Lizzo.
I could have told you that. That's a no contest.
That's facts.
Okay. Okay. Coco K asks, would you date her? That's the second part of the question.
I thought I answered that already.
Okay, that must
I
have
said
been.
as long as she's humble and respectful, maybe I'll give her a chance. I thought I answered that part already.
You probably did. I'm probably just late. Raider Gain says protection is still the man's role regardless of money. So even she had more money, she is still dependent on your protection. Okay.
Yeah, that's true. If some dude creeping around your backyard at night, you gonna go check it out your damn self, or you gonna let one of us big strong men do it? Think about that.
Okay.
Hey, you know what? I kind of want to comment on that, man.
Okay.
So, CM said it earlier, or the other guy that was on the panel, right? So he said, like, that is for when we were talking about protection and stuff. We're talking about like expectations and stuff. If I'm with a woman, right, and I'm gonna be completely honest here, right? If I'm with a woman, let's say we upstairs, we having a good time, whatever. We hear something downstairs, right? I'm going downstairs. I'm straight up. I'm going to go downstairs. But the reasons that I'm going downstairs is not necessarily like the reasons that everybody says the man is supposed to go downstairs for.
Okay.
I'm going downstairs because for me, right? First and foremost, I want to live. And I think that if I go downstairs, right, I have a better chance of living, first of all, right? Because I think that I'm more capable of handling the situation, whatever it may be, downstairs, right? Everybody talks about, oh no, I'm going down there to protect the person. No, you're going down there first and foremost for yourself, right? Self-preservation.
Okay.
You better be armed with something. A baseball bat, a crowbar, a golf club, nunchucks, whatever.
Look, listen, I keep guns in my house. I'm going there with something.
Right.
Even better.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, so I like that. Yeah, it's definitely for yourself because you ain't trying to get, jacked up. And then of course you protecting yourself is protecting those around you. So I get that.
I tell you what, in most cases, right? If you ever see a woman go downstairs in place of a man, after whatever happens downstairs, the next place she probably going is out the door. She leaving. She ain't coming back.
Right.
Out the door into Alpha Chad's house.
Oh, God.
Who's literally down the street in the next block.
Oh, tell the secrets. Y'all women and men, y'all got to stop with those games. Raider Games replied to you, Sherm. He says, not me. I'm going because of my kids. Okay, he just dismissed himself for a second.
No, I'm here.
Okay.
Yeah, if there's kids in the house, absolutely, no question about it, right? But if it's just you and her, think about it.
Yeah, are funny. Just Rules responded to my response. I said that maybe it's because he looks good, maybe flashy. He says, "Women prey on me because it's because I'm a musician, intelligent, humorous, and reserved." Okay, so Sherm, that's what you were talking about. Reserve usually is like, you're kind of standoffish in a way, like you're not trying to be approached. So in his defense, he's like saying the same thing that you said.
Yeah, when looking, can you put the comment back up?
Yeah.
Yep. Reserved. I'm telling you. And I saw it was a social media clip, and it was talking about like women in a room. Like, so if you put 10 or 11 guys in a room with a woman, right? The first 10 approach the woman, tell her how beautiful she is, tell them how much she wants them, or they want her, and they're shooting a shot, all 10, right? The 11th guy walks in the room, pays her no mind. That's the guy she's going to want. Now, whether or not that's true, in some cases, I believe it is, but doesn't always apply.
Yes, I agree. You, I think I said musician.
You did. I don't know what that is, but you said something. But
Yo, my words are off today. Y'all gotta excuse me. It was a long day.
But a musician, yeah, I can get with that one.
Yeah.
I think women like dudes that are more musically inclined. I don't play any instruments. I can sing a little bit, just a little bit, but yeah, definitely. Women like
same here. I don't play instruments. I just rap and rhyme every now and then. But I do go to the gym. I take up MMA, and when I MMA, I take up kickboxing, karate, so I stay in shape. I do what I gotta do to stay myself in shape. Maybe that's what attracts women sometimes.
Fellas,
when they see me at the gym getting it in, they be like, "Oh, I like what I see." And granted, I don't get that attention all the time, but I get it every now and then.
Single fellas, find your way to an open mic night somewhere. Throwing that out there.
True.
Get on your Love Jones vibe.
Yeah. That's true. Women do actually like that. They don't talk about it as much, but that is one. That is one. Just Real says also sisters I've dealt with so far were from, what is that? Sherm, what is that word right there? I can't even.
Diaspora?
Okay. Caribbean, Afro Latina, and UK. My dad, Negro Cherokee, and my mom is West Indian. So you look probably very interesting. You have a whole lot of things mixed up there. Yeah. And then, I mean, women are attracted. What is it?
I said that's some diversity. Caribbean, Afro Latino, and the UK. And
yeah, that's interesting. With that look. So yeah, women are attracted to unique styles, facial dynamics, your hair, all of that. They're like, "Oh, you got good hair." You hear a lot of women say that. Let's see. Coco K responds and says, "Misery said it best. You make 100K and the woman makes 200K working 8 hours." Okay, so with this example, would you date her?
So I'll answer that one because I've actually been in that situation. So around the time where it was like, so I've been in the DMV for about 2 years now, and I actually dated someone. Like when I originally moved to the area, I was only making 100K, and I dated someone who made twice as much as I did. It wasn't. I guess it wasn't something that I found to be emasculating. Like it wasn't something that we never talked about it really. Like we had a conversation about, or I guess actually had a conversation about jobs, and then I actually kind of figured it out like secondhand. Like okay, but yeah, that wasn't the reason why we stopped dating. So
okay, so that's good. There's women who say that a man doesn't want to be with a woman who makes more than them because of many different reasons. So I think that's probably why she's asking. But you guys are saying it doesn't matter. So to answer that question, Coco K, there are men out there who don't care. Just don't come with that, independent mindset. You could do it, on your own, and not giving the man his credit, and
I tell you what, though, I can give you an example. There was something like when we were dating, there was something she said that kind of something she offered that made me super super uncomfortable. I don't know why. I shouldn't have been, but I was. So my birthday was coming up, right? And she was like, "Hey, your birthday coming up. What you want to do?" And my automatic answer is gonna be like nothing. Like I don't want anything. I don't want to do nothing. I might want the newest Apple Watch. I might want some AirPods, whatever. But I'm always gonna say nothing, right? Because I don't expect people to do anything for me. Like I can do for myself. But she's like, "Yeah, we could do something." I'm like, "Okay, cool." She's like, "What do you?" She's like, "You like the Warriors? What about if we go to a Warriors game?" I'm like, "Oh, that's cool. Yeah, we could definitely do that." She's like, "Okay, I'm gonna get the tickets." And I was like, "Okay." She was like, "Well, where do you want to sit?" So I got on Ticketmaster, started looking at seats, and I'm looking up in the nosebleeds because I'm not trying to pay an arm and a leg just to see nobody else play basketball, right? Like, she's like, "Oh no, I was thinking about these floor seats, like because the Warriors organization is how it is. That costs like 2 or 3 G's, right, for both tickets together." And I'm like, nah, no, she's like, "But no, but I got it, but I'm paying for it." And I'm like, "No, I still don't feel comfortable. Like I don't want you to spend that amount of money like on no basketball tickets." So I think for one, I got 2 points to that. For one, I was uncomfortable because at the time I couldn't like buy those tickets, right? And then two, I guess the fact that like she was willing to spend like that much.
Yeah.
And then I think I like just filling it out like at the point of like the dating that we were, like I don't think it was like fitting for somebody to be offering to spend that much money. So
That makes sense, because if you guys were married, you probably wouldn't say that, right?
too easy. Let's go. We in there.
Yes. Yeah, I get that. And then you're like, I wouldn't even spend that much. So you're gonna spend it, and then we're not even exclusive. So
Yeah.
I get it.
I'm like, but there's a whole like little starter car over here that we could be buying for the amount that you finna pay for these little seats. Like it's a whole Honda Accord sitting on Route 1 that we can go buy.
Oh gosh, yeah. Yeah, well, I guess I get that from women. So I think that's probably why she asked, but that's not saying that you wouldn't date her. You were just saying at that time,
Yeah.
it's uncomfortable. Yeah, that makes sense. Gail says, when it comes to the time of having, raising, teaching your children, a woman making $200K and gone 8 hours a day, you as a man will notice. Okay. What do you guys think about that comment, I guess?
I mean, she making that amount of money. I think she's working more than 8 hours, don't you think?
Not if her salary just is high.
In this area, that's
Yeah.
fair salary for a 40-hour work week.
For the DMV area, Hustler and Muscular, where are you located?
Right now I'm in Mississippi, but I'm from Oakland, Illinois. Born in Chicago.
Oh, okay. I don't know how the income is up there, but in this DMV area, you could make some serious dollars out here. So it's possible. Yeah. Okay, now we're gonna wrap this up a little bit, and I have one last question for you too. So, so your wife has to be what on a scale from 0 to 10?
Go ahead, Hustler. I'm gonna think about this one for a second.
Oh, come on, man. I gotta think about it too. So that makes two of us. Give us about 5 seconds. Roll the Jeopardy theme, please.
Okay. Let's see. Empress says to Raider games, it should be a preference, but most women make it a requirement. Just rules. Let's see. You're saying mom is from St. Croix and one ex is from St. Lucia.
Okay, I got you. Wife, right? We talking about wifey.
Wife, yes.
I'm going. You gotta be at least. You gotta be at least 8.5.
The half.
At least an 8.5. Yeah, because I feel like for wifey, right, for somebody that you about to spend the rest of your life with, you have to be comfortable with starting off, right? Starting off in the marriage about 8.5.
Yeah, because it would grow.
Yeah.
The number would grow like as you get to learn each other. But at 8.5, okay. I wouldn't say that's high expectations. I think that's pretty accurate. My rule of thumb is men and women should find a 80-20. So 80, all of that is covered. 20% is not. I feel like people should be able to deal with that. 20% could be like little stupid stuff. Like if you prefer her to be where you're from, right? If you're from, I don't know, the DMV, you want her to be from the DMV because it's easier. You have family, but then she's from California, right? That could be part of the 20. That doesn't say you can't be with that person. So
when I look at it too, right, I never forget my grandmother. So I'm from Louisiana, right? My whole family's from the South. And my grandma, I was dating a girl all through high school, right? And when I went to the military after high school, and I still just happened to be dating her. So we got pretty serious when I think it was like the very first time she met my grandma. My grandma told her, she was like, baby, you gonna get fat. You gonna eat a lot, and you with him, and he like to eat a lot, you gonna get fat. And not to say that she got fat. She did get a little wider, but not fat or anything. But I only say that to say that when you start to date a person, like I think you should consider looking at, just from a male perspective, you should consider looking at the older women in her family, right? Because in a lot of cases, like women will start to, as they get older, their body's going to start to change, right? Their hips are going to start to get a little bit wider, or their facial features may change a little bit and vary. It just depends. But
right.
Like, look at the older women in their family, and like that might give you a little mental of like how they're going to be when you guys get older, right? Because a lot of guys, they're like, oh no, I'll never be with somebody who's going to get bigger or who is bigger or whatever. And then the question is asked, well, what happens if, in your marriage or in your relationship, that person gains weight, which is more than likely always going to happen.
Yeah.
So
that's true. My husband, he actually, he looked at my mom. He looked at her calf muscles or her legs, that whole section. He was like, oh yeah, she, slim, right? He looked at that because he's looking at how the frame is. And he looked at me, he was like, okay, yeah, you're going to be slim. I was like, who does that? I've never heard of nothing like that.
It's a thing. Yeah.
Yeah, he definitely tested that. Hustler, you ain't got no answer over there. You quiet.
Okay, I thought about that. I think I'll cam up for this one.
Ooh, okay. Okay.
All right. She got to be at least a 7.5 out of 10. She ain't got to be no perf. She ain't got to be no 9 or no 10. At least be a 7, because I want to be able to wake up to your fine self every morning and be able to be like, ooh, I like what I like. If you're gonna be the first thing I'm gonna see when I get out of bed, I want to be happy in more ways than one, if you know what I mean.
Mm.
And when I get back home, you're gonna be the first thing I see, and I want to still be happy, if you know what I mean. So yeah, a 7.5 for me.
Okay. A 7.5 is actually, I think that's like average. So that doesn't mean that she's not cute. She's just
No. A five is average, I think.
Oh, okay. See, everybody's different. Yeah, Sharon, what do you think?
Absolutely not. A 5. Listen, a 5 is ugly. Keep it real.
I can't even say it ugly. I'm gonna say a few notches above ugly.
Nah,
I've seen
at average. Yeah, I think like a 7. 7 is average,
Okay.
or should be.
Should be. Okay. And
Yeah.
we're talking about, if we use Kevin Samuel's point, without makeup, she's 7, right? That's what you would want. Pure face. Okay. Right?
She gotta be.
No,
she gotta be naturally beauty.
I'm
She
talking-
gotta be naturally beautiful.
I'm talking about without makeup, 8.5.
Okay. All right. So
I need her.
That's just me. Though.
I need her natural beauty.
Yeah, I find. I don't know. I look at beauty in women a little bit differently. A lot of women wear makeup. I don't think there's any problem with wearing makeup, but I think one of the most attractive things is a woman with no makeup. You know what I mean? With some comfortable clothes on. Like we got to be able to be comfortable, and I got to be able to sit there and look at you and be like, yeah, that's mine. And she fine.
Right.
Yeah.
Because ain't nothing like getting up and you're ready to go for the day, and she's getting up quick. She can get ready fast because it's less preparation versus a woman who takes like 2-3 hours to apply makeup and then the hair and the clothes. It's a lot. So
yeah. And look at it too. Like most people like morning sex, right? So when in the morning, when it's time to, time to have sex,
yeah.
I'm not getting the makeup part of you or the makeup version of you. I'm getting the raw, uncut, the morning breath and everything.
That's the thing. There's some women who they would wake up before, typically before you put on the makeup and lay back down.
Ain't no way. Ain't no way.
I'm not accepting it.
No.
They're out there because they're like, and it's more, sometimes it's an insecurity. So if you can find someone that is confident, then that's the one you want, Sherm. If she's not confident, that's not a deal. That's not something that you should settle with because you're going to have problems later. So remember that.
Agreed.
Coco K says, Sherm, interesting story, but she wanted to splurge on you. And this is the lady with the basketball game. So
yeah, I get that, right? And I'm pretty sure that was the case, but I wasn't in a place where I was ready to receive that.
Okay. Misery Loves Company says she got to be able to get out the house in 15 minutes.
It sounds good, but we know that that's definitely not realistic.
Yeah.
We could hope. We could only hope for 15 minutes.
It's even hard for natural people, but try to make it work. Just Rue says, I'm a man of integrity and principles. I'm not clean, holy, but yes, I aspire godlike conduct in the society. Interesting.
Okay.
All right. So it was fun, you guys. We definitely have to do this again. I might could do it again on Friday if y'all are available, and I will have more topics at hand. If you want to come on Friday, just send me a DM, and if you see a video or something that you want to respond to or a crazy comment that you've seen, just send it to me, and I will set the show up in that way. And we could definitely do this again. I love having you guys on because I love to just give the male's perspective. I feel like ladies on my channel need to start listening to men because that's what I promote. And you're gonna hear from me, but you gotta hear from them because there are different type of guys out there, but primarily they're very similar. And if you're looking for a certain man, they right here. You know what I'm saying? They're showing you, they're telling you. Don't dismiss it. Just accept it. Okay. And just understand that's what you're gonna be dealing with. And don't come with that nonsense when you approach men like this. Okay. So with that being said, thank you so much, Sherm. You guys can also follow him there. That's his social media name, Instagram, and Hustler and Muscular. This is my first time meeting you, sir. Thank you for being here.
Not
Do
a
you want
problem.
to share where they can find you if you want to be found?
Well, just go to my YouTube space. It ain't really much. I just use it for streaming only.
Okay.
Just type in Hustler and Muscular. I should come up there. You should see my handsome face and my little shorts of me showing off every now and then. But that's all you're gonna get. This is just an entertainment stream for me.
Okay. All right, cool.
Oh
Sherm.
yeah, before you go, I want
Uh-huh.
to comment on that last video that you showed. The peak hair young girl talking about she had a perfect man, but she called off the engagement because she felt like something wasn't right.
Yeah.
You know what she was missing?
What?
She was missing the alpha Chad that she originally chose and wanted to be with. And this guy that she got engaged to was not him. So of course she felt empty about the whole thing. She felt like she was just settling. I've heard this many, 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 many times. I never understood why up until more recent years, but now I get it. This is the guy she was settling for, not the guy she originally wanted. And that's my biggest pet peeve with this whole marriage concept. Are you getting a fair deal marrying this person? Or are you just getting the shit end of the stick by settling with this person because you're out of options or the last option didn't work out, whatever. So you really have to be careful with that. That's my biggest gripe when it comes to this whole marriage concept. You have to be careful who you marry, vet them properly, and make sure you're not just the person's last hope or second choice or second best. That's not me. Don't let that be y'all. That's all. I'm leaving on that note.
All right, man. It was nice having you here. I'd love to have you again, possibly Friday next week. So if not, I'll see you in the chat.
Lady Di, everybody.
Sure thing.
It was great meeting you guys. Great. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. It was super dope to hear you guys' perspectives and to get the questions from you, Lady Di. I had no idea I was going to be on answering questions tonight, but I'm glad I was able to come give a male's perspective.
Yeah, no, you've never been on my show before, and you probably haven't really watched it, but I do this sometimes. Now, I'll have a live panel like this sometimes, and I like it because everybody gets to say, you know, what they feel and how their insight is. And I will have questions. That's just how the show, you know, flows better that way. And then people ask questions. So it's kind of just to give more diversity. But like I said, if you want to be on the show and we're like talking about dating and you trying to find somebody and, you know, we're kind of dodging into your personal life, because I do a lot of that too. Like I'll show, you know, look at my clips that I share sometimes on Instagram. You'll see kind of like what my conversations are.
They over there matchmaking in the chat.
Yes, they trying to hook you up too. That is funny. Yeah, so no, I really appreciate you being here. But if you want to, any final thoughts, do you want to say real quick, or we're done right now?
No, I really didn't have anything else. Just super appreciative of everybody's opinion. I always look to just learn something from somebody. So that's it. Hopefully I see you guys next week. I'm definitely down for a next Friday thing.
Okay, good. Yes, that would be nice. My husband may or may not be on here. He's on here sometimes.
Okay.
So I'm gonna DM you because I gotta ask you something. But yes, Hustler, Muscular, I see you camming up. Thanks for camming up. What'd you say?
Say good night, y'all.
Good night. Bye bye. You're on mute.
Now you can see my handsome face. There's no more surprises, okay?
Okay, yes. Ladies in the chat, he finally showed his face. I know y'all probably was like, who is this mysterious man? All right, so you can follow him, Hustler and Muscular, on YouTube, you guys. Army Strong, I see you.
Yeah, 6 years doing this.
Okay.
Well, 6 to 8 months, but you get it. All
All
right,
right,
take care,
man.
Lady B.
You too. All right, bye-bye. Yes, y'all. I see if I'm missing some comments. Y'all are getting it in the comments. I really appreciate everybody having those conversations, well-needed conversations. Off to the beaten path. Great chat. Nice hearing different perspectives. Thank you so much, girl. I appreciate it. If you want to be on here too, DM me, because I know you're a housewife and you don't have kids. I'm saying that because that's what I remember, but things could have changed. But I want people to see that lifestyle because I don't think they understand what it is that you guys do. So definitely impress. Great broadcast, Lady Di. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Also, I wanted to shout out someone. Let's see. You guys are so patient with all of my mispronounced words. Listen, I am not that. I don't know why I started doing that. I got to get my life together, y'all. Where is the clip? I wanted to share. Where are you? I had met, so you guys know when I interviewed the actual King Smith. Y'all remember that? He was talking about a divorce. His divorce, actually. Do y'all remember him? I actually met him and his girlfriend in person, y'all. We had met actually yesterday. What is it? Today is we met last night. About to pull it up now. We met last night, and on this space, I did not expect to meet such great people on here. Not saying that people are not great. I didn't really think about it like that. But people that I'm meeting are like legit. Why is it not? See, I can't even share it. Why is it not popping up? You guys are the bomb. Like, I'm so happy to meet like-minded individuals. Okay, I can't even share, but I'll share it next show. But you guys are the bomb. Like, I was not expecting to meet so many great people. I have so many other great people to meet that live in my area. And the ones who don't, we are going to meet. I'm so excited about the connections that I'm making. I'm also very grateful for everyone who's been here working with me from the beginning. Listen, we're trying to climb up the mountain. DTM team, that's what I call you guys. Thanks so much for making your contributions to the show. I appreciate that. And just, being here and just learning. We all learning from each other. Yes, I am a wife coach. That's just what I do. I do help women understand men. And my husband, he does his part. Well, he's going to start doing his part with helping the men as well if you need it. And so thank you so much. And I'm going to end this live, but we will do this type of live again next Friday around the same time, 9:30 Eastern. If you want to be on my live show coming up on Monday and Wednesday at 6 p.m., please DM me. DM me at, just want to put it up here in case. At Lady Di, DTM. DTM stands for Dating to Marriage. So yes, I appreciate it. You guys have a wonderful night. It is 12:21 on my side. But yeah, so thanks for rocking with me. All right, you guys. Bye-bye.
Artlist.io.
I believe one day, I believe in the future. I believe
Music licensing reimagined.
I believe what you truly desire, you can bring the past. All you need is a focus and a story to hold. and the faith that you can achieve what's inside your soul. Someday we'll make it alright. Other days we only can try. Either way, no matter what people say. Either way,
Artlist.io.
gonna get. Someday we'll make it alright. Someday. Other days we only can try. Either way, no matter what people say. Either way, we're gonna get better. Know that you can make it. Hold it tight, cause they will try to take it.
Music licensing reimagined.
Shake it, but whatever you do, don't let them break it. 'Cause this moment's just a new chance to take into your own hands and shape the life you see inside your dreams. Someday we'll make it alright. Someday. Other days we only can try. Either way, no matter what people say. Either way, we're gonna get.
Artlist.io.
Someday we'll make it alright. Someday we'll make it. Other days we only can try. Either way, no matter what people say. Either way, we're gonna get better. In your heart there lives a dream for your soul to master.
Music licensing
From the moment that
reimagined.
you breathe, get to chasing after, yeah. All that you want, all that you ever dreamed. You can make anything of this life. Someday we'll make it alright. Other days we only can Someday try. We only try. No matter what people say. Either way, we're gonna get.
Artlist.io.
Someday, other days we only can try. Other days, no matter what people say. No matter what they say, we gonna get. Someday we'll make it on time. Someday, other days we only can try. Other days, no matter what people say.
Music licensing reimagined.